Countdown.
Hey everybody, what's going on, man? 101 Weekly, and how's everybody doing? And welcome to a ton of new subscribers. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who is participating in the chat. What's going on, people? Good to see you. And just want to see how my panel's doing this week. Bertram, what's going on, bro? We were just talking about COVID, and just want to find out how you've been.
I'm doing well. As I was telling you, I had my COVID test this week. Came back well, so I'm happy. Came back well, meaning it came back positive, meaning antibody test, not the COVID test. And New York is operating as if we have no virus, because even though people are wearing masks, they're out and about, they're partying, they're having barbecues. It's Labor Day weekend in the city, so in the country, frankly, and that's when people all get together to celebrate. So we're seeing a lot of that happening, but people are still wearing their masks, so hopefully we will not have a flare-up as we had previously. And I mean, watching a lot of basketball, I was very frustrated yesterday watching Toronto play Boston. I know Nick Nurse is the coach and he's well-revered, but I thought he was atrocious in his substitution. I'm sitting there cursing, and my nephew's watching me. What's wrong with you? And I'm explaining to him everything, and he's like, yeah, you're right, Uncle, you're right. I'm like, yeah, he has Gasol in the game. He can't run. He can't jump. He's not shooting well. And he has Ibaka on the bench who's hitting threes and blocking shots. And I'm like, did his contract say he has to play? Like, what's the criteria for him being on the court? Like, I'm here just frustrated. They eventually won when he fouled out and they put Ibaka back in the game. I'm like, maybe I should go to coaching. But anyway, it's been a good week. It's frustrating watching it.
It's a good story. I mean, I'm obviously, my conference, so I'm following the Denver Clippers game, and Denver just completely outshot them last night. They went batshit crazy. I mean, they wiped us out. They wiped the Jazz out in 3 games straight. So they just turned it on against the Clippers. Nobody expected it after them going 1-0 up. And Neomis, man, how you been? Good?
Yeah, I've been good. The week has been pretty good. I've been relaxing, chilling, just hanging with friends and just relaxing. So I've nothing to complain. But yeah, and looking forward to the countdown for next week.
Excellent. Tony, how have you been? Enjoying the NBA playoffs? I was a little bit upset about what happened with Lewis Hamilton today, but it is what it is. So, I don't know what happened there. If the pit lane's supposed to be closed, you're supposed to have a yellow light on your limiter saying you can't go in, and I don't know what happened, but it is what it is, man.
That's right. It's always going to be one race out of the whole season, which is a complete utter cock-up. And so, they had theirs today. It's just a reminder. It's one of them things, it's like every season we have one game where you get beaten by some lowly opposition, and it's just a reminder. But the week's been interesting. Back to school again. So, it's a kind of like a bit of a double jeopardy going back to school and seeing the kids. And you think like, okay, have the teachers got it in hand? How are the students going to handle it? And funnily enough for me, I think the biggest problem is the parents. Because the parents have got no control of themselves when putting their kids into school. I'm talking about my own 7-year-old who's started junior this year.
Yeah, I saw him in his school uniform.
Yeah, he just, it was lovely. But the masses outside the school gate were just ridiculous. It's like, what the?
It's crazy, man. And then listen, I don't know what's going to happen, because that's how the workplace is going to be looking at in the next 7 weeks when the end of October furlough finishes. It's everybody, it's start your engines and everybody back to work. But I think the frustrating thing is this is supposed to be, we're supposed to be in a intermediate period where we're in the phasing back to work phase. So I know that our guys, they've told us that we're back on the road this week for the first time in 6 months. So, we're doing 3 days a week this month, then we're 4 days a week in October, then November, we're full tilt. And let's see how that goes. It's going to be interesting for me. But guys, listen, we've got guys in the chat and they're ready to go. We've already got over a dozen people watching us. Big shout out to Carletto. What's up, bro? Big shout out to Cool K. David, yes, we're going to get on to Aura soon, mate. Who we got? Curtis. Big shout out to you, Curtis. 18. What's up, bro? Victor. Yes, nice to see you, Victor, man. And Kenyatta. Yes, what's going on, my brother? And guys, as you know, the channel hit 3,000 yesterday. And just wanted to big up everybody and thank you for that. I did leave out 2 names because I edited out of my video, which was my own fault because of the cough that I've got. But I just want to say a big special thank you to the African Guna. It's been amazing, as well as our pundits. And I just want to say a big thank you to you, my friend. And also to Vincey. Vincey, long story here. Vincey, Tony knows Vincey as well. I go way back. Vincey was one of the people that convinced me to do the YouTube channel. I talked to him about it for quite a long time. Bertram was actually having a drink with us in London when I first brought it up. And I was pondering about it for a year. And I said to Vincey, nah, I don't think 101's ready for a YouTube channel. And Vincey was like, Apollo, look, man, just go. Just do a couple of dummies, see how you feel, and the rest is history. So I want to say a big thank you to the African Guna and Vincey. Sorry I missed you guys out yesterday. You know, this cough is real, and I'm sorry, the editing has become a real pain in the ass. I just want to say, guys, for all of you guys who are on my personal channel, Apollo Dean Campbell, that Tenant video review that I launched yesterday took me 4 hours to edit. It was a real pain in the ass. I ain't doing that again. Yeah, not for now. Big shout out to you, Vincey. Vincey, I just gave you a shout out, so hope you're doing well. Hope family's good. Femi, hey Femi, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Guys, let's go straight into it, man. There's a lot to talk about. And in fact, there's so much to talk about. Boy, we're going to even struggle to get some predictions done. But we'll get there anyway. It shouldn't be too tough. Apologies for Ebony as well. Ebony's in traffic and she's running late, so I don't even know if she's going to make it. But guys, let's talk about, first of all, just an update on the 2 targets. There's not really an update on Party outside of Real and Atletico digging their heels in. And it's not really about digging their heels in. They've been very solid. And as I said, they've been honorable with the release clause. This clause should have been over on the 30th of June, and they have honored it. And because of the player, they owe the player that much in respect. And I feel the reason why they owe him that much is because they promised him a pay rise this year, a new contract, which they can't afford to pay him. It's all in the news, so I'm sure you guys all know about it by now. But because of that, they've said to him, look, we can't pay you, but if Arsenal can, then we'll allow you to go. So Atletico have been hands up. You know, we're going to honor the player. They've done exactly what they promised the player to do. So this isn't a Crystal Palace situation with Zaha. This is them being honorable. And this is the player saying, look, Arsenal's the only place that I want to go. I think another team came in. I think it was an Italian team that came in and he said, no, not interested. It's either Arsenal or I stay where I am. Because he knows that if he stays where he is, Party will get a new deal next year once everything sort of gets normalized. And really, it's down to us. And you've got to be fair with us. There's 5 weeks left in the transfer market to go. Actually, there's 4 weeks left. And we're just trying to raise some capital. We're trying to raise some money before we can pull that deal. But it's still on the cards. Before I go around to the panel, I just want to cover the Aura deal. Aura, as you guys know, we made a £31 million bid. This was about 3 weeks ago. We actually made another bid this morning for 40 million. Now, if you guys are actually aware, and that was rejected, by the way, and if you guys are aware of the situation, he was only worth 20 million last summer. And this was when Pep and Arteta was looking at him. And before the summer had come, the price tag on him was about 50 million euros. Again, 45 million, but exactly the same amount of money for Partey as well. What they've done is they've now put that money up. So we're hearing it's 60 million. Obviously, the Champions League run that Leon had, they want to get some money. So I think that's what's throwing a spanner in the works. So Arsenal's bid got rejected today, and the asking price is somewhere around 54 million. I don't even know how that deal gets done. He's not worth that. He just isn't worth that kind of money. He hasn't even made his name on the map yet. So guys in the chat, give us your opinions on that. I just want to say also big shout out to Sydney. What's going on, Sydney? Big shout out to Style. Big shout out to Ashik, and big shout out to Purple, man. What's going on, bro? What's going on, people? Bertram, what's going on with this party and Aura deal? Are you happy where we are at the moment?
Well, I always believe that if no one is in for the player, you should be patient. This reminds me of when we had a financial crisis. Those who were liquid in cash had great deals at the end of the day because people eventually had to sell. It's one thing to have an illiquid asset as a player, but if you ain't got the cash to spend to pay people to go and buy the players, then you're in a bind. You can't, you can have a lot of assets, but if it's not liquid, you can't buy food with your house. You have to actually either refinance your house and get the cash in, or sell the house to get the cash in. So I think we have to exercise some patience. Some clubs will need to have some fire sale at some point. Do we do investigation to figure out what Lyon's financial situation is? What Atletico Madrid financial situation is? They can't pay party and increase. That means they may have some financial challenges. They did sell Griezmann. They spent all that money to buy the kid from Portugal. So I'm not sure where they are financially. So we do have to exercise some patience. The fans have to be patient and look out for these deals. I just saw a deal where the kid from Norwich got sold for what, 30 million pounds, but Liverpool want to buy him for the same price.
Yep.
People are not realizing, here's my financial situation. I may be in dire strait. What am I going to do? So if you have cash, you can sit on the cash, be patient, and then figure out where you can get a great player or a very good player on the cheap, because it will happen. Those who are impatient, like Chelsea, are going to overpay. Who can afford to pay 70, 80 million pounds for a player in these times? No one can, really, unless you have pent-up money like Abramovich.
Unless you have Eden Hazard money. Let's just say
Eden Hazard money, or you didn't spend the previous transfer window. So they had a lot of money to spend, but at the same time, they could have been more patient and get more players, but they're rushing to market, right? Yeah. Liverpool is not even spending, even though they probably need to spend. But you don't have the money to spend, or you're not going to overspend. You got to be patient and coy and cautious and deductive. And I'm not sure everyone is doing the same thing. Everyone is rushing to market. Look, I think we should get Partey regardless of what it is. We should be patient. Tell the player, we're going to get you. Just be patient. Be quiet. Don't say anything. We're going to get you at some point. Even if we have the money, don't overspend the money. We need to buy at least 2 or 3 midfielders, because we don't have very good midfielders. And we may need a center forward, frankly. The kid from Celtic looked like a very good player. But we have to exercise patience. We also have to get bodies out, right? We have 30-something plus players.
Yeah.
We only need 25 on the squad. You have to get rid of about 6, 7, 8 players. You have to also be figuring a way to get the maximum value of those players. I'm not sure why Mkhitaryan went for nothing. That's nonsense. I know he makes 170, but we could have gotten 10 million last year. We didn't take it. And now we took 0. So we gave Sanchez away for 0, even though the way he's playing, he's probably worth less than 0. But I would think that at this point in time, we have to have some patience, and we get some good deals close to the transfer window.
So thank you, Ashik. I appreciate that, bro. The funny thing is, we hit 3K yesterday, and this morning when I woke up, we're already on 3,250. So we've had 250 new subscribers in the last 24 hours. And talk about going batshit crazy. I just want to say thank you very much to Stephen, a £5 donation to the channel. And appreciate that, guys. Remember, guys, donations are from £2. So thank you for all your support. And Stephen's just like, evening all. I hope all is good. All is good, bro. All is good, man. Thank you very much for your support on the channel. We wouldn't be here without you, Stephen, and that's the truth. That's the truth, man. David is saying, should we bring back Walcott? Answers for that is no. For 2 reasons. One, because he's past, he's 29 now, isn't he? I believe 28, 29. We've already seen the best of him, and he can't play in the system that Arteta has, which is, if you only have to look at Eddie Nketiah's defensive work to see what would be warranted from the likes of Walcott, and he can't do that. If a star like Pepe has trouble playing defensively, then what's Theo going to do? And I'm a big Theo Walcott. No one's a bigger fan than Theo than I am, but he just wouldn't be able to fit in the system, unfortunately. Sydney's saying, when do you think we'll see the announcement for Bamian? I know that the deal was agreed a week ago, but it's the incentives, and they're not coming to an agreement with that. And I think they're just waiting and for the next week. If the deal isn't announced in the next 6 days, I will be pretty concerned, because you can literally then not only go on a free next year, but in the next 4 months, come the new year, he'll be able to sign a pre-contract with any team in Europe. And so we're going on dangerous ground. The good news is, though, look, he's told insiders, and I know people on the inside who have said, look, I want to stay. He's agreed to a contract. The agreement was a verbal agreement 3 weeks ago, and all roads point to him staying at Arsenal. So I don't see any way how he leaves. But, you know, it can still happen. So I'm not going to say it's over until it's over. So, Neomis, man, what's going on with Partey and Aura? Are those two deals that you're happy with, or would you let them go?
The Aura deal, like, I'm really not that fussed on him. I get it; he's a talented player, and I think in terms of fleshing out the squad, building quality in the squad, which means that, you know, there's going to be a lot more competition for places, and we know we're going to have a lot more quality on the bench. I get that, but when you're saying that we're out there increasing our bid to 40 mil for a player who, for me, I don't think is critical. I think Partey, for me, is critical going forward for what we need for this team. And if we already have that kind of money now, why aren't we trying to get the Partey deal done first and then deal with RR next? Like, that's my only thing. For me, I would happily take Partey right now, and then let's focus on the RR deal later on once we sell a few players. But for me, Partey deal should be number one priority. And the RR deal, you know, if we can get it done, great. If not, then, you know, I'm not gonna cry over about it. I'm not gonna be disappointed, to be really honest.
No, if you want my personal opinion, you can carry on when I finish. If you want my personal opinion, I think that Arsenal have got away with so much skullduggery, and I can call it skullduggery for a joke, but if I'm in sales, I'd probably do the same thing as Arsenal. I'd probably try to low blow people as much as I can, because in the past you've got away with it. You know, I'll bring you guys back. To Real Madrid bid 40 million euros on Santi Cazorla, and Malaga turned it down. Tony's nodding his head because he remembers this. Malaga turned down a 40 million pound bid from Real Madrid, and what happened? UEFA put sanctions on them, and they were desperate to sell. We ended up getting Cazorla for 12 million euros, and that was 12 months after. So the 40 million bid was the summer before, which they turned down. But in my opinion, we got 4 weeks to go until the window closes. Atletico have been subpoenaed for an audit. I think Arsenal are truly trying to sweat them out. I really do. I think Arsenal are saying, look, this is where we want to be, 35 million. And you come back to us if you're interested. And Atletico have told them twice, no, he's 50 million euros. That's how much he is. And I think Arsenal are honestly trying to sweat them out. I really do. And it might blow up in their face.
Do you think that's what I mean? Do you think we're running the risk of another side coming in and saying, hey, we'll gazump Arsenal and increase it to like 40 mil with just an extra 5 mil or something like that, or just say, you know what, we're just going to pay.
You know, he's already said it. He's already said it's Arsenal or he's staying. He really likes being there, and he likes being. But the thing about players is players want to be valued. Yeah, a lot of fans kind of know it, but they don't really know it. Players want to feel special, and that's the reason why you hear Ozil always talking about he loves Arsenal, because we showed him so much love when we came here that he feels like he's wanted here. With Thomas Partey, he feels loved by Arsenal. I'm going to go into that actually in our next segment. We can talk about that. But players players want to be loved, and when the fans are on them, it really makes them feel special. And I think with this guy, he knows Arsenal are all about. He goes on his feeds, Twitter feeds, Instagram. All he sees is Arsenal fans. So he knows he's being loved. Yeah, we know that it happened with Gabriel. I'm going to talk about another player after in the next segment who this thing happened with. And when they know that they've been loved like that, that's where they want to go, because they feel when a player feels like he's being loved like that, they feel that that's a place that they can be happy and they can express themselves. And then obviously once you've got the fans behind you, it's full tilt after that. And I think. I think that's where they're really going with this whole thing with Partey. I think they're lulling Partey, but he won't go anywhere else. That's for sure.
I hope so. I hope this isn't one that we miss out, because I would truly be disappointed in this one. I think he is the start of the answers that we need in order to progress this club forward and progress this team forward. So listen, I hope you're right. I really do.
And
so guys, one point. I mean, we're missing something, as I said at the outset, which is not everybody has money to spend. We had a market where we had the top 8 teams flush with cash. We spent 140. Well, we sort of spent 140 last year. I was going to put it in quotes because it wasn't all cash. But Real Madrid is not spending money because they have no money to spend. Barcelona not spending. That's heresy when Barcelona and Real Madrid are not spending money, and they're giving away players. Bayern is not spending money. Man U is trying to work on the cheap to get Sancho cheaper than 100 mil. Everyone is cash constrained, and everyone wants cash. So unless you buy a player or you sell a player to get money into, then go buy someone else, that's the restriction you're facing. Why rush to market? I said before, why rush to spend 45 million? Wait it out somewhat. I haven't heard anyone else come for Partey. Tell Partey, we're going to get to you regardless of what happened. Just be patient. But let's not go spend 45 million when you don't have to. Why would you?
Yeah. And it's a business. That's what they listen. Like I said, they've got away with it before in the past. The problem is, as we know from Griezmann and all the other players, Atletico, as in living color, Homie the Clown, as he says, he don't play that. Atletico don't play that. They really don't. They've never dropped their trousers on any deal, and Arsenal they're tempting them. So let's see what happens. It's a game of cat and mouse. Stephen's right here. If a player is overpriced, we need to hold out until last-minute deals will happen.
By the way, I follow one point. My understanding that Ayer is not overpriced. My understanding that last year he would have gone in a normal environment for 70+ mil. And this is what Fabrizio think, and other experts think.
Tony don't like it.
That's
yeah,
they said he was going for 70.
Just look. How much did we play for Pepe? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay. How much did we play for Pepe? Yeah. Also, just want to say a big thank you to Aaron. Aaron's one of our long-time panel guys who's from Goon Squad. So I just want to say big shout out to you, bro. He's saying, got to support the cause, people. 3K subscribers. Yeah, listen, enough respect to you, my friend. Enough respect to you. Tony.
I can't help but think of what madness that anybody would spend 70 million on Aouar. He's not that good. Yeah, anyone tell me where he's going to play in our team? Please, somebody just tell me. Where is Aouar going to make that difference in our team? Because we have wingers aplenty. We have strikers. He's definitely not a striker.
No, he plays in the Nasri role. He plays in the pivot role. Okay. Where they've got Willian now.
Right. So we've got Willian. We've got Pepe. We've got Ozil, even if you want to consider him. We've got Denis Ceballos, who could probably had a chat with Mikel Arteta and said, you know what? I want you to move forward next season. So we've got playmakers potentially. Now, if this guy is better than all 4 of them, he's worth the money. Anyone?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Bertram said. Last year, he would have gone for 70 million euros easily.
But I just gave you 4 players in our team this year. Zero.
So Tony, here's the problem, which is in today's environment, I think Arteta is going with the Man City concept, which is you do have 2 exceptional players in every single position.
Yeah.
Because you never know about injuries, right? You have one injury and it throws you, and you're trying to win the league, not trying to just get top 4. I think Arteta is ambitious enough to want to win the league. You want 2 players in every position. And look, I rate Nasri. I think Nasri is one of the best football players I've seen. You know why? Because somebody who can't run, somebody who has no speed and never loses the ball. Look at how Nasri. If you watch the Nasri highlights, always have time on the ball, and those are exceptional players. So I do think. Look, I haven't seen enough of Aurier to say yes, he's worth 70 mil. I've watched him in a couple of Champions League games. I've watched highlights, and you can't tell much from highlights. But if Arteta rates him, then he has to be a good player.
Okay, so can anyone please tell me? I mean, I'm happy to take advice on this. I've watched the kid. Yeah, last few games, especially in the Champions League, big game atmosphere. To me, he looks a very tidy player. But if you're going to tell me the very strong physical Premier League, where French players don't normally come in and hit the ground running. I've yet to see one. They normally take 6 to 8 months, 12 months sometimes, to really start to adapt. And even then, many fall by the wayside. Yeah?
No, some players have hit the ground running. Saint Maximum did this year. The kid from West Ham who toured the league 2 years ago.
Maximum?
No,
Really?
Saint Maximum. No, you haven't, Tony. I'm telling you, you guys watch too much top teams. Watch Saint Maximum play. The kid is ridiculous.
He's got
the kid is ridiculous.
Pace. He's got
pace, skill. He's hit the ground running. For a Newcastle team that doesn't do much, he's hit the ground running.
No,
What's the name? The kid from West Ham who played 2 years ago and then forced his way back to France. What was the name of the kid from West Ham?
Did they? Let's be honest. He didn't change their...
No. Well, he helped them to stay up, and that's a lot for.
You know, this is the difference for me. If you want to change the dynamic at Arsenal and spend 70 million on a player who's going to do something, yeah. Let's be honest. Pepe was a bit of a risk, yeah. We were looking at Pepe, we're looking at Zaha, and we're like, okay, let's go with Pepe because he gives us a better financial deal. We can do it in installments. But actually, what he delivered in the French league prior was sufficient for me to say, actually, that's worth a punt. Because if he corrects some of the errors he made last year under Emery, who didn't play him at certain points, and under Freddie, and he gets a good run at it this year, which I think he now gets his feet, you know, wet. And we've seen some of the highlights of what this kid can deliver. Yeah, in terms of passes, chances created, and goals, more importantly. Dead ball specialist. Yeah, that's worth a punt. Aouar, to me, is not in that ballpark at the moment.
Because I think what it is, Tony, is, and again, last year, the only two managers who are really interested in him, I mean, Juventus has just entered the mix, but that's because they've been looking at all the tape. It's Pep Guardiola and Arteta last year. Those were the two guys that were really favouring him.
Last year, when we were looking at Pepe, everyone could reel off a load of stats of which he was the best in France at. Can you name me a stat that Aouar is the best in France at?
So let me say this. So Pepe last year, the numbers were inflated. He scored half his goal in penalties. That's a good penalty taker. If he scored 20 goals, half were in penalties. They're inflated. Here's how I judge it, Tony. So when we played Crystal Palace, Emery said, seeing Zaha up and close, I have to have him. He destroyed us. He's an exceptional footballer. My view is Juventus plays against Aurier up close and says, you know what? We got to go pursue him. Because when you play against somebody on the ground, stop using the aerial view and what we do on TV. You see him, you see the skill, you see the capability. You see, get a tight corner. You say to yourself, you know, I got to go get him. This is an exceptional player. That's how I think of Aurier in terms of Juventus seeing him and said, we want to pursue him. And Pep playing against Lyon, seeing and said, we have to go. Remember, Lyon gave Pep a hard time last year, right? That's one of the reasons why I think they liked Aurier based on what they saw. And we see a player up close, just like I look at Pepe. Pepe has ridiculous skills. Like Pepe doesn't really know how to play football in a sort of traditional, I'm going to call it British sense, which is positioning. You got to play the entire game. You got to know where you are in the field. You got to know where to dribble and when to pass.
Get behind the baseline.
Pepe's skills are ridiculous. Ridiculous. Just watch that. Just watch him and when he plays a game and how he beats players. They can't be taught. That's something you do on the playground and carried over to a more formal environment you operate in.
Yeah, he's way more talented than Raheem Sterling was when Pep took over Man City.
And this is the thing, yeah. I watched Pepe last year just turning teams like just turning teams inside out. Yeah, literally turning teams inside out. Drop a shoulder, through a guy's legs, gone, bam. Yeah.
But the question is, what do you do after that? That's where he has to get better.
No.
When you get in a position, how effective are you after that?
That's the same as what you would have said about Raheem Sterling just prior to him linking up with Arteta. So that's what gives us hope. Yeah. Is the fact that we see the raw talent of Pepe, and now we see the master brain of Arteta, and we know what that can do. Combine those two together, and we could potentially have a £300 million player in 6 to 12 months' time.
I think the thing is, Tony, with what you're saying and what Bertram is saying, you're both hitting a synergy on this topic, because we're looking for both. Like, so the answer is with Torreira, Klasnach, and El Neni, who might go out on loan, we might be literally left with nothing in the midfield. We don't have anything much now. Good thing that Ceballos came back, because now we start to look like a shape now. Ceballos, Xhaka, and Willian, those are your three midfielders right now at this point. You bring Aouar in, and then you can start to play around with a few things. You can start to. He's played he's played on the side at wing back a few times as well, so you could start to play with a few things.
It would be a waste of money.
It would be, but I'm just going with what Bertram is saying, like in terms of if you want squad depth. And so you're looking at
what we now need is we're looking at starting the season with a reasonably good squad. We have managed to bring in the last 2 seasons, we've managed to bring in 5 or 6 stallions. Yeah, players who in Gabriel, Saliba, Tierney, Martinez, Pepe, we've just got like some big ballers. Yeah. And we've got to sort of say, okay, now we've got that core of 6 or 7 stallions. We've got some other players, fringe players, we like to call them, Willock, Reece, Nketiah, Lacazette. I didn't even count Martinelli in the stallions, because to me he's a bad boy. Yeah,
and so is Smith Rowe. Wait, Smith Rowe's on the team. He's going to be in the 25 on Tuesday.
So we've got all these ballers, and what I'm looking at is saying we don't have to spend all the money this season. And this is where I'm going to finish this point about Partey and Aouar. Right now, we have a decent squad. We're not looking to win the Champions League because, A, we're not in it.
Yeah.
Can we win the league? That would be ridiculous for us to think so. Yeah. However, this is my point. Let's do the business and get Partey in. Partey makes a huge difference in our midfield. Yeah. If we get 4th at the end of the season with Thomas Partey in our midfield, next season we're 1, possibly 2 max players away from winning the league. Yeah. And
so Tony, it's a catch.
Let's just discount.
It's a catch-22.
Let's just discount Aouar. Let's take him out of the fold. What would you rather have? Would you rather have our Partey done deal and say, you know what, we got a little bit loose change. Why don't we just get Coutinho in for a season?
So I think it's a catch-22, Tony. So here's the view, which is next year, those players, if things go back to normal, price are doubled. All the prices are doubled. So why would you maximize getting those players now if you can and spend the money on salaries next year?
Because you don't have the money. You don't have the money.
We don't know what we have no idea what Arsenal has actually. We have no idea what Arsenal has.
Yeah, but the thing is,
we don't.
We know we don't have the money. Yeah, I want to see those players in. But you know what? I'd rather not spend money on a luxury player, which Aouar would be. Because let's be honest, he hasn't played in that level of physicality. It's going to take him 6 to 12 months to get acclimatized to the league. Coutinho knows our league.
Yeah, he does. I just want to say a big shout out to Curve. Curve is saying, stop interrupting the bottom left, please. So everybody, stop interrupting Tony. And he's also saying,
you got to understand, Curve. That's how we roll. That's the banter we have in this. It's great. I love to bounce off of the guys.
Yeah, and he's saying top right guy is good, which is Bertrand. Listen, they're all good, bro. They're all good. That's the reason why they're on the panel. So, guys, overall, I just wanted to talk about Danny Ceballos. He's back, and I just want to see if that's a good idea. Also, guys in the chat, do you think having Ceballos is a good idea? And I did talk about how much love the fans are showing these guys, which is yourselves, on social media, and the players are looking at all of this. Look, when we heard from Willian, the first thing Willian said to David Luiz is, even at the FA Cup final, in the FA Cup final when Arsenal beat Chelsea, Willian had so much social media feed from Arsenal fans on there, and he was like, these. And the thing is, according to James saying when he was at Chelsea, the Chelsea fans never, ever, ever flooded his social media feed like that. So when he saw what Arsenal did, he was like, damn, this place is real. And then look what happened with Gabriel. Gabriel said, the love that the fans showed me was just unbelievable. What did Danny Ceballos say? Danny Ceballos said he got so much love from the Arsenal fans, and they replayed and retweeted his video when Aubameyang scored that winner in the penalty on the penalty spot kick when against Liverpool in the Charity Shield. He goes, "Look, I was always going to come back here because of the fans." That's Danny Ceballos. Guys, would you listen? Throw some props up for Danny Ceballos. Good deal or bad deal, Bertram?
So Arsenal fans are like a beautiful woman. You know, when you love a beautiful woman, they love hard and they hate hard too. So don't feel good about that love that you see up front. If you don't play well, they're gonna boo you like Xhaka. So you gotta be very careful with that. Let's do things in moderation here. All that love you're getting, you know, Gabriel is all excited, with them excited. You better come produce, or else it's gonna be painful. Having said that, look, I'm not big into loans because they have to leave. Tony just mentioned that Awar is a luxury player. Well, Danny Ceballos is probably gone next year unless we buy him, unless we very much want to sell him. You got to fill that gap, right? William probably can play there, and then Ayer can play in the 10 position. So that's one of the reasons why I think Arteta's probably thinking long-term, and Edu is saying, you know what? I need a team where the positions are set and we own it, because we don't own Ceballos. And he hasn't shown any indication that he wants to stay permanently. Yes, he loved this time last year because, you know what? Players like to play. And if I get game time... Well, true. That's true. Well, that's a bonus, right? For him, anyway. Real Madrid did win trophies, so he was part of some of the teams that won the Champions League. But at the end of the day, he wants to play, and he's getting playing time, and he's getting love from the fans, and he's played well. So it's a good deal. But I'm concerned about long term, which is he leaves next year. Who fills that gap? Now, hopefully, a Willock or even a Saka, because I do see Saka at some point, if he can't get in the front three, playing in the midfield, playing on the left side of the midfield. Playing on the left side of Partey, frankly, because I think we're going to get Partey. I don't care what anyone says. We're bringing him this year because Arteta must realize we need him. Yes, he likes Xhaka, unlike many of us who think Xhaka's time is exhausted. But we do need someone of Partey's capability. Because I watched him again yesterday. You know, just looking at players, and I'm like, I watched him twice against Liverpool in the Champions League. I watched him yesterday again, and what impresses me both is not just his physicality and his defensive capability. He can beat a player and he can move the ball forward. Xhaka doesn't do that, right? Xhaka makes a decent pass right or left. He has a lot of intestinal fortitude, which is he plays hard, but he's slow as molasses. And he has attributes that, as you say, I don't call him a donkey, but he's not a stallion, let's put it that way. But Apollo, just to make this a short answer, which is I like the deal for the time being, but I prefer more permanent. More permanent solution.
And the thing is, he might be because he has only got 2 years left on his deal. And so after this season, he'll be down to his final year in his contract. So anything can happen. And remember, listen, big thing, guys, we haven't paid the 12 million euros for him like we did last year. We're getting him for nothing. All we got to do is pay his 50,000 a week salary euros. So it's a really, really cheap option. I like the deal. I really do like the deal. Neomis.
Well, I'll agree with you. I really like this deal. I think it puts us in a very good opportunity for if he does have another good season next season, and if he could improve on what he did from last season, for us to go out and purchase him. I really do like Ceballos, and I just hope that he continues to add value to the team. I do hope that he stays, but I think similar to what Bertrand was saying, if there's opportunity for us to upgrade on him long term, then let's do that. But I think this is a very good deal for us.
Yeah, listen, let's get one thing clear with what Carletto is saying. Carletto is saying Ceballos can actually play in that position where Xhaka is. So if you get something like an Oa, yeah, you could actually go with a Ceballos, Oa, and Willian midfield. So it's at the end of the day, you can just mix and match for where the weaknesses is, because you're only as good as your weakest link. And as I said before with Xhaka, we know why he's in there, but at the end of the day, he's expendable, just like every other player is. So, Tony,
I don't agree with you, Apollo. I don't think he can play there. He holds the ball too much. You don't want to set the midfielder to be a ball hog, because eventually going to lose it, puts you under pressure. The way he plays, he's not a center midfielder.
Well, I guess we're going to see, man, because for me, he's more of a front player. No, Arteta knows he's more of a front forward player, but he has been able to play on the baseline with Emery.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Bertram. He does have a way in which he receives the ball, and he manipulates it within his space, and then he moves it on. I think that's the area that Arteta will improve with him. I think Arteta is that guy that makes players so much better with their first touch that he can go, right, you know what? You can touch the ball one time into an area and you know where the ball's going to end up. Touch and go, touch and go, touch and go. And you see a lot of that in their training videos. Yeah? A lot of like two-touch movement where it's you get a ball coming into you, you touch it at the side of a man, and then you've got a pass straight already, because the man knows as soon as he gets his head up, I've got to be on the move. So there's a lot of that. There's obviously systems that Arteta will be perfecting. The rondo that we worked on last season will be getting better this season. I see him doing lots of good work under Arteta. I think Ceballos, I think this is a great deal for us. I think if he improves again on what he did in the last 6 months of his year with us, as opposed to the first 6 months, I think at the end of this period, Real Madrid will be getting back an absolutely outstanding player, and they probably won't want to sell him. However, if the guy loves the club as much as he does, we'll probably persuade him to say, you know what, I want out. I want to go back to Arsenal again. And then we have to negotiate with Real Madrid at exactly how much it's going to cost us. But you know what? This is what I'm saying about saving some money, because you know what? We could go out and spend 70 million on a player, or we could say, you know what? We'll just pay his wages and not have to expend on a deal. And this is where we could potentially do similar with Coutinho if it was to happen. But Ceballos knows our league now. That is a great piece of business by Arsenal. I'm so happy it's a done deal. I look forward to seeing his ascendancy, his development. I'm so excited to see him back at Arsenal. Hi, Ebony.
What's going on, girl? Before we get to Ebony, actually, let's put Ebony first. Ebony, how are you? And are you happy with Ceballos coming back?
Yeah, I'm fine. Hi, guys. Yeah, I think anybody who's better than anything's better than Xhaka. I know
I love her so much.
Anybody who hugs the ball. Well, I mean, I know people are saying that he hugs the ball, but I mean he's a creator. Xhaka isn't a creator, or much of a creator. Xhaka has got one style of play, and that's backwards, sideways for me, and the occasional fast spring. But I'm happy, and I mean, if he's happy to stay at Arsenal, I think we should make a bid for him at the end of this new season. But he's the player that we've actually missed since Cazorla. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a great bit of business.
Question here from Ashik. How do we rate Dominique? Any of you guys feel free to churn in. Me personally, I think that he's a player that we can. I think he's a player that we can pursue if we don't get Owa, because he's normally in a number 10 role. You know, he's consistently there to try and unlock defenses. We've seen him play killer passes, killer through balls. He rather tends to pass than shoot, but it's the reason why his goal score record is low and his chances created and assists are very high. But I like him, tidy footwork, and you know, me and Bertram always talk about how good are you with the ball at your feet. Good dribbler on the ball, knows how to go past people, capable passer. And look, if you don't pull the trigger on Ower, I think that he could be definitely an option. Any of you guys want to chime in with that one quickly?
I haven't seen it enough. I think he scored a ridiculous goal this weekend, but I haven't seen enough to comment.
Salzburg.
On him.
Salzburg. Yeah.
I haven't seen him enough to comment.
So, guys, overall, there's so much stuff to talk about here. See, if I do all this, there's no way we're going to have a time for the team. So I think we should just roll with the team. I think we should just look at how this team is going to open up this season. Let me see if I can get the first 11 up and see where we are with the squad. There we go. Right. So, guys, how are we going to open up I can't believe the season starts in 5 or 6 days. And the question is, guys, how are we going to start this season up? And here we go. We've got our squad indicator up on there. And in goal, look at this. The Bernd Leno square doesn't even work. It's so look, Martinez is so good that the predictor doesn't even give us an option to select Leno. Isn't that good? Neomis is killing himself laughing. So we're going to select Martinez. So guys, interesting how we're going to go here, because I'm not sure whether we're actually going to play Gabriel or William Saliba against Fulham. I'm not really sure, but again, this can be a consensus decision. Bertram, who are you going to go with our left back here?
So I don't think you play three at the back against the weaker teams.
Ooh.
I think you play three against the back against the Man Cities, the Liverpools, the Man U.
Ooh.
I don't think you go three at the back against the Fulhams of the world and the West Hams of the world. I just don't see that happening.
So let's change it to the 4 base then. Ooh, David Luiz's weakness. Ooh.
I still think he's going to play David because Gabriel hasn't blended in yet. So I think let's go with it individually. On the left, I think Tierney's a no-brainer, frankly.
Okay, so Tony, who are you going to go here? Actually, it's Neomis. Neomis, who are you going to go here? Let's get a consensus. Guys in the chat as well, let me know where your hearts and minds are. Who goes in at left back? In a back 4?
Oh, it's easy. It's easy. It's Tierney at left back. Yeah.
Tony?
Has to be.
Easy pick, Tierney. Shoeing.
So Ebony?
Yeah, there's only one, the Scottish Prince.
Yeah, I think, and it's even if I don't go with Tierney, I'm outvoted 4-1 here. Style agrees is saying Kieran Tierney. Cricket Ball Tierney. Femi is saying Tierney. Boy, I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. I think that's going to be a lock because you can't put him into the midfield if you're working with that back 4. If you're looking at back 4, he's got to be in there because there's so much energy, so much talent, and one of our most progressive and consistent players. So, guys, left centre back. Who are you going to go for a left centre back? Even look, Victor's even saying 4-3-3, no brainer against Fulham. So, guys, who are we going to go with at centre back? Actually, name both the centre backs so we can get through this.
I think it's, well, depending on what we do with Holding, but I think it's David Luiz and Saliba starting the first game. Saliba's played enough and practiced enough since the end of the League One season to be considered, even though he didn't play. Maybe didn't want to expose him against Liverpool. It's too early to have him have a nightmare. But I think he'll play him against Fulham to blend him in slowly.
So you would say David
Luiz and Saliba start the season.
Guys in the chat as well, let me see who your 2 centre-backs are for this game against Fulham. Who's next? Neomis. Neomis, who would be the 2 that you slot in here?
I'd definitely go with David Luiz, but it's a little bit of a throw-up between Saliba and Rob Holding. And I'd probably go with Saliba just because it's Fulham. If it was any of the top 6 teams, then I would have probably gone for Rob Holdens. But yeah, I'll go for David Luiz and Saliba at centre back.
Excellent, excellent. And the deals are coming in right now. Style is going with Luiz and Saliba. What's going on, Alex? Big up to you, Alex. Wicked the way how you listen. Alex is going to get to 10K real soon. His channel's doing really, really well. Femi is saying Luiz and Saliba. Carletto is saying in a 4-3-3, Luiz and Saliba. Cricket Ball's gone for Luiz and Holding. Yeah, I thought that they might let Saliba sit on the bench and watch what actually happens. You know, sometimes they do that defensively. We did that with Pablo Mari. When Pablo Mari came in, we just sat him on the bench and said, bro, this is the Premiership. This is how it all works. And I don't think that Saliba's had that kind of insight yet. I think that they want to sort of go through the motions, put him on the bench, and then when they look at the footage, they can study that in the week and say, look, so this is how everything's going to work. Curtis also agrees as well. Luiz and Holding. Stephen has said Luiz and Saliba. Carletto Holding might be off to Newcastle. Yeah, that's if they can sort the fee out, mate. They still haven't paid up. Vince is saying Luiz and Holding. Victor is saying Luiz and Mari. Oh, okay, that's an interesting one.
Mari's still unfit. He's still injured.
Yeah, I believe he's still injured. And a big shout out to Joseph. Joseph, thank you very much for £2 donation. Big up Apollo on the panel. Jacques and Torreira once sold. I totally agree, bro. Totally agree. Thank you for your donation, bro. Thank you for your donation. Neomis, who goes in? Who goes in there?
Oh yeah, I said Saliba.
Saliba. Okay, so Saliba. So we've got at the moment we've got Bertram going with Luiz and Saliba. We've got yourself going with the same Tony. Who goes in at centre back?
Okay, so I'm throwing this up right up in the air. This is where my head tells me Gabriel was the better defender out of Saliba and Gabriel in the French league last year. He's a bigger player. He's a more experienced player. So my choice would normally be Gabriel and Luiz in a 2. Obviously, in a 3, it would be Gabriel left side, Luiz in the middle, Saliba on the right.
That's
However,
right, yeah.
because of the timing, yeah, if we don't get this Rob Holding thing across the line, which I don't think we will, I actually think he's going to play Luiz and Holding. So I would love to see Luiz and Gabriel because that, to me, represents a stronger back 2.
Yeah.
However, I believe he's going to go with Saliba. With Luiz and Holding.
Yeah, you know what? I don't have to say my piece because you've hit the nail right on the head. That's exactly where my mindset was in regards to how this thing is working. I think that they're going to use Holding because he's a solid player, he's a solid option, and so is David Luiz. And it's Fulham, and I think we would just want to go in there, get a result, and turn them over. And I just think he's going to let the 2 young guys learn. I think he's going to let the 2 French guys sit and learn and everything about the Premiership.
That's a big debut when you play in the first game. And I know, there'll be some young players coming up from Fulham, their first game back in the Premier League. I actually believe they will go and start with the 3 at the back. Because it just means it's a system they understand. They've been playing it in pre-season friendlies. So it kind of just, to me, says, I think he's going to stick with a safe start to the season. Let's not lose this game, yeah, because of inexperience. Let's do what we do, understand what we've got, and then the season, the game after, and the game after, of course, which is a big one against Liverpool, we can start integrating and, seeing how other players are going to be. Because obviously by Liverpool, Gabriel would have had, 2 weeks of training, potentially a little run out at some point. So, yeah, let's see how this goes.
Excellent. Big shout out to you, Nay. That's not a problem. Anytime is your time, Nay. Anytime is your time. Guys, we've got 50 people watching. Can you hit that like button? Doesn't cost you anything, but it lets all the other Arsenal fans in the world know about this stream, and it gets highly recommended on YouTube, so on their algorithm. So please give this video a like, Neomis has already had his way, so we're at Ebony now. Ebony, who goes in at 2 centre backs?
Okay, well, I mean, David Luiz seems to be the choice, even though he can be random. I'm just hoping that, and for me, it's not even just because it's Fulham. We shouldn't really take it for granted, and we have done in the past and lost. So, given his experience, David Luiz will be there. I'd like to see Holding there as well. And the reason why I'm picking Luiz and Holding is because I want the 2 new recruits in Saliba and Gabriel to learn. It could be slightly unfair if they were just pushed in at the deep end. So if needs be, they would have to, one of them, either Gabriel or Saliba, would have to go on as a sub. But just to watch the first half, see how the game is, and then one of those 2 will go on with David Luiz. But I think it will be a starting. I think David Luiz and Rob Holding will start.
Yeah. So again, listen. It seems to be the consensus now. So let's have a look here and plug them in. Here we go. Right. So we've got David Luiz and Rob Holding, and also who agrees with that is Cool K. He's saying the same thing, and so is 18. 18 is saying the same thing as well. Vic is saying in normal cases they will never play a player who's up for sale holding injuries. Some teams do because they want to showcase them. They want to say, look, this is how good the player is. Do you want to play the money? Yeah. But yes, you're right. The consensus is mostly they wouldn't play the player because obviously that could be very disruptive in terms of contract negotiations. You could be pissing away millions of pounds just for the sake of playing a player. So guys, right back. Whoa, this is going to be interesting. We're right into the first controversial one already. Guys in the chat, who would you play at right back? This is going to be very interesting. Bertram, you got the conch.
So before I jump to right back, I'll say this. If you don't play Saliba in the first game, you won't play him until sometime in December in the visit period. For a couple of reasons. One is you can't blend a playing against Liverpool. That doesn't work. So when will you play him? We first play Fulham, then West Ham, then Liverpool. He won't play anytime soon. But he's been playing all preseason. He's been playing from the end of the previous season in the French league. So it'd be interesting to see how that works. But I understand the Holding sentiment. But Holding may be playing for Newcastle by that time. Second, as it relates to the right back, look, I mean, Amen just came off a match of the man performance, playing on the left side against Liverpool. But I think Bellerin will start if he doesn't go to PSG. I don't see him not starting.
And that's a strange one because, as you just said, Bellerin, well, Niles has started the last 3 games against big teams.
Yeah, but Bellerin has started also, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we play 3 at the back, Amen plays. When we play 3 at the back, it's a no-brainer. He's going to play to shut down the best offensive player from the other team. When we play 4 at the back, it's Bellerin that he plays.
So a little bit of a mixed bag from the chat as well. Joseph has gone for Maitland-Niles. Vinci says man like Hector. He's gone for Bellerin. Cricket Ball has gone for Cedric Soares.
What?
18 has gone for Niles. Carletto's gone for Bellerin. Femi's gone for Maitland-Niles. Kuke's gone for... Actually, Stephen's gone for Maitland-Niles. Kuke's gone for Niles as well. Paul has gone for Bellerin. Style has gone for Bellerin. And Nay has gone for Maitland-Niles. So it's a real mixed bag at the moment. So, Bertram, so you're saying Bellerin or Maitland-Niles?
So here's what I don't understand about Arsenal fans. So PSG rate Bellerin and Juventus rate Bellerin. 2 of the top teams in the world, maybe 2 of the top 6 teams in the world, rate our right back, but we don't seem to rate our right back for some reason. Now, I know he's had injury problems, but everyone see that his progress that he's made in the last, I say 3 months has been exponential, frankly. So even though AMN is a shutdown player when he wants to be, because we know how when he wants to be, but I think in a 4, he would probably play Bellerin.
Okay, wow. So Neomis, you got the conch, man. Jeez.
For me, it's really easy for this one. I'm gonna go with Maitland Niles at right back for all the reasons that you said. You know, he started with us last few games. And I think with how well that he's been playing, the England call up, with all the talks on him being offered a new contract, and the fact that when you look at the three other players in defense, tactically, we could potentially be versatile depending on who's in midfield to maybe shift to a three at the back whilst in the game with having Maitland Niles at right back. And eventually, and putting him in the midfield. So for me, just tactically, I'm gonna go with
Yes, you've got me. All right, because I was going to go with Bellerin, but looking at exactly what you've just said, this is a 4 at the back. This is a 4-3-3 that we're opening the season with, and I don't exactly think that Arteta isn't comfortable with this. As you know, we shift 3 different formations, whether we've got the ball, when we're off the ball, etc. And I think having Maitland-Niles gives you more flexibility, moving, playing with 4 at the back and shifting to a 4 midfield man. And I think that Maitland-Niles can do that for you, no problem. I don't think Bellerin can.
There's no one on the left side to do that. So when you play 3 at the back, you play Bellerin and Maitland as the other 2 wide midfielders. There's nobody on the left to do that if you play Maitland-Niles at the right. So that shift we're talking about doesn't work as smoothly as you think it does. There's nobody. Who's going to play there? Abba? Xhaka? Who do we play on that left side to cover off for Tierney and cover off on the left side? You don't have a wing back over there.
You play Xhaka because he does exactly that and nothing else.
Yeah, when Tierney pushes forward, he'll slot back into that right back, into that left back position.
Yeah. But so this is one of the things that Arteta has done. He's made Xhaka become a very territorial player, and he just sits in a in a space of the pitch that he knows that the left wing back and the left-sided centre back, who is Tierney, can bomb on, and he's there.
No, you guys are confusing the formation, guys. You're confusing the formation.
No. I understand what you're saying. I'm talking about the three at the back, but even in the 4. You still need to have that cover that you're talking about that is lacking. To me, is Xhaka. That's what his job is.
Boy, I might have to change up this formation a little bit because I don't know how we're going to fit all of these guys in there. I'm just looking. I just don't know what they're going to do. Where's Willian going to play? I mean, this is madness right now.
It's sorted. If you play 4 at the back, Willian position is sorted.
Right. Okay. So, Ebony.
You forgot me.
Oh, I thought you were just.
Sorry.
About that. So we've got
one Bellerin, one Maitland-Niles.
One Bellerin, one Maitland-Niles.
One extra Maitland-Niles. We got to look. I hope PSG are going to show us the size of their wallet. So I'm looking past Bellerin now. I like him. I love the kid. You know, he's got that lovely London accent on tap. But listen, let's
crazy accent
and get some of that PSG Audi Arab money and say goodbye, Mr. Bellerin. Thank you very much for your years, because he's been there a long time. Yeah. So thank you for your service. And now, Mr. Maitland-Niles, you become a very big piece in our jigsaw. Stallions at the ready.
So Tony, if he doesn't leave, do you think he play or Amen plays?
If he doesn't leave, Bellerin's got that slot.
So it's the same thing with Holding, though, guys. So we have to think about this, right? Holding is also up for loan. So we pick Holding, but he may leave. So we got to think about the contingency that we're talking about, which is
you're right. But I think for the first game, I think he plays Holding until the deal is done, unless the deal is done in this week. But with Bellerin, I think this is a big week potentially, and if it doesn't happen, I think we're gonna. I do think PSG have got the money and the need. This is one of the big things. I look at PSG a lot. They're my number 1 team in France. I watch them more than any other team in France, and they need a right back.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They do. There's going to be a lot of change with the big teams, man. That's why we haven't seen a lot of spend from Barcelona and a lot of these other teams. There's going to be a lot of changes there, man. A lot of changes. I can't find you guys are not going to believe this. I can't find Maitland-Niles' name on this list. I think that it's this one here, which is blank. But it won't allow me. I know it won't allow me to choose it. I think this is skullduggery business going on here. I'm gonna cuss this website anyway.
We know we still got Ebony's vote to.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Ebony. Ebony, it looks like you got the deciding vote, man.
Well, it's gonna have to be A&M for me. I mean, you know, for the past 3 games, for the past few games, actually, he's owned that right hand side. Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, basically anybody who's come up against. And as much as I love Bellerin, you know, I think if he doesn't go to PSG by the time this game starts, which is next Saturday, then he'll be on the bench. He'll be a bench player. But A&M, 100% for me. You can't. When somebody has been that good, why drop? Doesn't make any sense.
And you're actually sending a message to him: don't go to another team, don't go to Wolves, because I'm playing you and I'm giving you the minutes that you deserve, and then you're going to put him on the bench. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. So it's funny. I was just looking at this. They've got John Jules there, but they haven't got I'm finished. They ain't got Maitland-Niles, but they got John Jules. This is some madness. I'm going to cuss this rotted website now. Guys, so this is where things are going to get really interesting. Let's go for the front, the free midfielders. This is going to be madness. I wish I could change this.
No, you got to put a 2-3-1 in it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, it's a 2-1. It's a 2-1-3.
Hold on, let's see if we can find it.
Or it's a 2-3-1 actually.
Yeah, that's what he's got. That's what he's got.
Yeah,
that's
2-3-1.
Right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
We're there.
Right. So the 2 holding midfielders. Is there anybody that is going to disagree that we won't be starting Xhaka and Ceballos against Fulham? If there's anybody, speak up now. Right. Okay. So let's plug them in, because I think that this is a lock here. I think we all think it's going to be a lock. We're going to go with Xhaka. Where are you, Xhaka? Xhaka's the one I really want them to take off the list, but he keeps on hanging on there every week. Where is this brother here? We're going to go with Xhaka.
You don't realize that Xhaka is the first name of the team sheet.
Yeah, I do. I just don't like it, man. Well, he's not here. What's going on?
Joseph is in the chat, has said El Neni and Ceballos.
Ooh,
it would have been a Neni. It would have been a Neni and Xhaka. It would have been a Neni and Xhaka.
It is. Wow, Xhaka. I don't see Xhaka's name. He's number 34. He's not down there. So there's definitely going on with. There's definitely
he hasn't come back from international duty yet, so that's why.
Right. So that creates.
Yeah, that's a good thought.
That creates.
Yeah, that's why all the internationals are not there. That makes sense.
Oh, that's a weird one.
We don't have too many internationals, do we? But Saka is there, and Saka played for the under-21.
Yeah, that's a very strange one. Okay, so let's his number's not down here.
So is Nketiah,
which is really weird.
Maybe they're not counting under-21 football.
And Reece Nelson.
The under-21s have got a second game. But I know, like, Bert Leno is playing right now for Germany, apparently.
Yeah. It's sort of sad that we have so many players who are not internationals, actually. If you do look at it, it's very, even though the Africans are not having any tournament now, or people outside of Europe, but at the same time, they expect to have more players.
Brazilians have got a free week as well.
Yeah, this is weird. This website always does us well when we're doing the team sheets, and I can't even find Ceballos, which is very strange. Yeah, okay, so let's track on. Let's crack on. So we've got our midfielder locked in here. We've got Xhaka, and we've got Ceballos. So this is where things get really, really. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it gets easier. I think it gets easier. So Okay, on the left attacking side, anybody else outside of the captain?
No.
No. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with the pivot man in the middle. I think we all know, but let's just make sure that we're all on the same hint sheet. I think Willian's going to be in there. Bertram and guys in the chat, he's going to be at the pivot.
I think that's why he bought him, actually, is to play him behind the striker to both support the midfield and support the three up front. So makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so Willian, Neomis?
Yep, I confirm. Yeah, I think Willian will play in that number 10.
Yeah, and Tony, anything outside of?
No, I agree, Willian, for that position.
Okay, and funny enough, they do have Willian here, and he doesn't have a squad number, so it's definitely down to the website. Ebony?
Willian, you've got to be. You know, he can play that role that what is it that Bertram calls him? Lazy. Doesn't do.
Yeah.
Lazy's actually played against Villa. That's why we lost. Anyway,
that's our next subject, guys. That's our next subject. I can't believe that he actually played. Yeah, so we're gonna spot Willian in there, and again, are we gonna have a team without Saka? Mind you, Saka just played England international.
Pepe.
Yeah, I say Pepe as well. Neomis and Bertram?
Pepe.
Yeah, Neomis?
I'm going to go for Saka. I like how Saka's played within the preseason so far. And yeah, I'm starting to like Saka on the right. So I'll go with Saka.
I remember when Saka was a liability on the right. And now people are preferring his game over Pepe. Whew, Pepe can't have a standout season, guys, if we don't put him in our starting 11.
He'll be on the bench.
Tony, who goes in here for you?
It's easy, man.
Presence blood.
This is his breakout year.
That's what I'm saying. Style is going for Pepe. 18 says Pepe. Femi says Pepe. I think is Ebony. Is there any?
I'm going to go for Pepe with Saka on the bench.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And so far we've got Martinez in goal, Kieran Tierney, David Luiz holding, Maitland-Niles. We've got the two holding midfielders, which is Xhaka and Ceballos. Then we've got Aubameyang, Willian, and Pepe playing behind. Guys in the chat, who's the main striker? Also, Curtis says Pepe as well on the right. Carletto says Pepe as well all the way. Cricket ball, Pepe. Again, you know, we want to see this. Listen, if this is 3-4-5-0, I'm going to go nuts on the first game because we just want something that's going to work, man. We want to see. You remember, Man City was winning 5-0. I think that they won 5-0 in 3 out of their last 6 games at the end of the season. And look, I don't want to seem too off type, but I'm going to do my prediction for the Premiership top 6 this week at some point. And I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to tip Man City to win the league this season because what Liverpool did last year, I just think that they nearly broke the Premiership record for points. They were just on an unbelievable run, which came out of nowhere. And I think that that's going to be very difficult for them to duplicate it next season. But we can talk about that on Wednesday. Bertram, who's going to be your point man?
I think this is the hardest position to pick. I think it's Fulham, so we play Laka. If it was a better team, we'd probably play Nketiah because we want to do the pressing. But against Fulham, he has to build up like a confidence. And Fulham, I don't know them as a pressing team with a lot of energy. So I could see him playing Laka to start the season.
Yeah, Neomis, who's your point man? Who's your trigger man?
Well, I would have gone to my go-to guy, Nketiah, all day, but I actually think Laka will probably start this game. I think he's going to go for that experience up front. And I mean, we haven't seen too much of Laka as well, so yeah, I think this is a good opportunity for him to start, and yeah, just have a good start of the season.
Yeah, that could be big. That could be because of the Lacazette swap deal that we were trying to do with Atletico. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that at all. But we just haven't seen Lacazette at the races at all this off season. Joseph is saying Lacazette. Femi is saying Lacazette. Style is saying Blackazette. Cricket Ball is saying Nketiah. Carletto is going with Lacazette as well. Nay is giving Laka. Let's give him because you know what? If he starts off on the right foot, then it could be only good for his confidence, and it will increase the amount of money that Atletico are going to pay for him. 18 is saying Nketiah. Style is saying he almost went for Nketiah. Cool K is going with Nketiah as well. There's more votes for Nketiah than there is for Laka. So Bertram, you've gone with Laka.
Yeah, I know Nketiah scored 3 for the under 21, but Ebony's grandmother could have scored those goals, so I do think Laka.
Oh, come on, Apollo, you gotta tell him.
It's your mother.
That's a yellow card offense.
Not even your mom.
Leave the boy alone.
You know, if she missed, I would have chastised her if she missed those goals.
He scores a perfect hat-trick, left foot, right foot header.
So we've got.
Oh my God! I watched the goals thinking something is wrong here.
So Neomis, you're going to go for Lacazette.
Yeah, I do think Laka will start.
So there's 2 votes for Lacazette.
Yeah, I do think Laka will start.
Tony and Ebony, please save me from
Let me go and educate these man. Them. You see what I said about Bellerin? Bring the money for Bellerin. Bring the money for Lacazette. Same thing. Listen, any team that needs a striker right now, come and buy Lacazette, please. Nketiah starts. Nketiah just banged in 3. Let me talk. He scored 4 goals in like 3 games.
Yeah, I'm going for Nketiah, guys. You know I'm a big Nketiah fan.
Lively. He's on fire. Listen, I said to the African Gooner before the England game, I said, listen, this England captaincy thing could be a blessing for us. If he goes out, scores some goals, and England win, his confidence is going to be sky high. Let the boy do his thing. Listen, we know he's more athletic than Lacazette. Yeah? Now he's getting a feel for scoring the goals. And I know they're easy goals for you, Bertram, but I personally think he's shown a signal to Arteta that I'm ready.
His positioning is so good.
So I'm all about Nketiah for the start of the season. If he flops in the first 2 games, Liverpool, bring back Laka. But I don't expect Laka to be here.
Me neither.
I personally am seeing that somehow we get a deal done with Atletico because they want a striker, right?
Yeah. I think the thing that's important with Lacazette is, and this is for all of you fans out there, Lacazette is going to be 29 next summer, and he's going to be in the last year of his contract. So we all understand how that works. He's got 2 years left. There's no deal on the table. Remember when Arsenal said, they're going to be examining players. If they don't sign with 2 years left, then we're going to get rid of him. Well, guess what? There's no word. I haven't heard anything about Lacazette being approached with a new deal. Not one.
The problem with Laka, though, is that he makes a lot of money. People don't seem to realize that also factors into all of these deals. Look at Suarez trying to go to Juventus. They make a lot of money. Who wants to pay 160 for a player who...
The guy scored 12 goals last year. He's just not that striker. He's not...
No, Tony, we don't disagree. But I'm just saying, if you're Atletico, you're going to gain 150 a week for 9 goals in the PL or less than... I mean, I don't know how you do that.
That Vincey with the newsflash. Jeez. Vincey just dropped a bomb in the panel right there. No, I can't believe that. Hey, as soon as the show finishes, I'm heading straight onto YouTube, man. I'm going to go and check that out. That's some
it couldn't have been accidental. It must be a deliberate accidental touch.
But then if it was accidental, then why did they
it's a deliberate touch. It's a deliberate touch. Gotta be.
Mad thing. All right, Ebony, save us, man, from Lacazette.
Right, listen, I know Laka is going to start. Like everyone knows he's going to start because we need to win this game. And yes, it will boost confidence. However, I think what will probably happen is that Nketiah will come on as a sub. That's what will happen. So he'll start Laka and Nketiah. Yes, he's faster, but then again, maybe this game against Fulham will actually revitalize Lacazette. So I don't know, but I'm going to say this now.
Work them until they're tired, and then bring on Lacazette. Lacazette works best against tired legs. He's not good against fresh legs.
Okay, but I think I can see Lacazette starting though, because of who he is and the experience that he brings. But I mean, but to be honest, I'd rather see Nketiah start because I am a big fan.
That's my girl. Boom.
Unlike Mr. Bertram, who just takes the mickey out of him, leave him alone.
Hey, listen, he's our Dwight York and Cole. And if you play him, you will see that. Let's take a gamble on this. What have you got to lose, guys? What have you got to lose?
All right, let's go for Nketiah.
Dwight York and Andy Cole.
Yes, I told you that a year ago, bro.
What you having memory lapses? Dwight York and Andy Cole.
Yeah, I told you
the best strikers ever in the PL, and you say Nketiah's those players?
No. What the hell are you talking about?
I thought it was Samuel Eto'o.
No, I said he's got the ability to be a striker on those levels, man. How can he beat those players when the guy ain't even played 20 games? You're a mad team, It's like,
I hope he's an Arsenal player. I hope he comes good.
What's up, Stan?
But right now he should be playing his trade. He should be playing his trade at Newcastle and the West Ham of the world, not at Arsenal. We're trying to win top four, not babysit players.
No, we're trying to develop our players. What's going on, Stan? Big shout out to you, Stan, all the way from Canada.
Can I just say that game last night against Slovakia? I mean, I could have beaten Slovakia, but that's not the point. The point is, Nketiah took his chances, and he can take his chances. He can take his chances, and I believe that he can. He's 21. He's still got time. He's going to make mistakes, but that's a young player for you. So I'd rather see Nketiah start, but I can see Lacazette starting.
Yeah, exactly. I hear people in Germany and Spain talking about him, and boy, you know what? Let's see him grow. Let's develop our players. For Christ's sake, guys, we can't have our cake and eat it too, man. Everyone says, when was the last time we developed a blah, blah, blah? There's like 3, 4, 5 players coming through, and we ain't even seen Smith Rowe play. What happens if Smith Rowe starts lighting it up? Here's
the deal. No one complains about Saka. No one says send Saka out on loan. No one has doubt about Saka. Certain talent are so obvious, it's almost innate when you see it. Certain talents takes time to develop, and Nketiah may be one of those players, and Willett may be one of those players. But we're trying to get top 4 this year or win the league. I don't have time to babysit. Go play someplace else and learn. Sorry.
You know what? The fact that he beat out a £60 million striker, and started 7 games, and the only reason why he lost his starting place was because he got a red card and he was banned for 3 games. That was it.
He beat out a non-performing striker. Anybody could beat out Lacazette at this point in time.
All right,
it's a fact. If Gabriel wasn't injured, he probably would be playing.
That's why Lacazette's not starting on this list against Fulham, bro. We don't want to go for another 18 months of him not scoring an away game, an away goal. So, guys, we have our team against Fulham. And I'm gonna get this up and put it on the YouTube page, the picture page, to say that this is what we've all talked about. So in goal, Martinez, Kieran Tierney, David Luiz, Rob Holding, Maitland-Niles as our back 4. The 2 holding speaks for itself. It's Xhaka and Ceballos, and we got the captain Aubameyang on the left. We've got Willian in the middle as the pivot man, and we've got Pepe on the right, and then Nketiah in the middle as the anchor man. So that is our team. Perfect. Brilliant. That went absolutely fantastic. Now, let's talk about last night. Let's talk about what happened with QPR. As you guys know, Arsenal conceded 3 goals in Tuesday's 4-3 loss against QPR.
You mean Villa?
against
Villa.
Villa, sorry. And Dennis Ceballos also got a run out, which it's strange. You know what's strange is I reported when he landed in the UK a day before the media and AFTV did. That's because James was at the airport when he landed. And then I did Ceballos signs for Arsenal a day before all the other YouTubers did. So, you know, when he signed the contract, I was told this was it, Apollo. He's in the they call it the lab room now, signing the contract. And he signed, I posted my video up. And he played. And it's strange. I know the UK have lifted the quarantine laws, but the man's barely been there 7 days, and now he looks like he's going to be starting. Well, he actually played last night, which I thought was really weird.
So I've had a look at this because there was a bit of confusion floating around Twitter around this: who can play and who can't play. Yeah. Why are some people in quarantine? Why other team people aren't in quarantine? Mm-hmm. Apparently, this is how it goes. If you started your pre-season in a bubble for another team and you make a transfer, you can immediately start training, which is why people have seen pictures of Gabriel training with Arsenal, because he can go from the bubble at his old team to this bubble and continue to play in that bubble.
Thanks, Tony, for that.
That's what's going on. There are different rules for certain for people in a particular bubble. Yeah. And that's why Ceballos was able to play, because he had already started within a bubble. And obviously you come in, you have a test, 48 hours later, the result of that test is known, but you're still within that bubble.
I think they have selective process because Sterling was in Jamaica, Bull caught the virus, he came back, and I don't know how they allow him to play, which makes no sense to me. I know they have these bubbles and certain countries, but they make selective decisions, I think.
Yeah, that Sterling decision just totally baffles and just goes completely against all.
Yeah. But they're all coming out now. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, just came out and said the whole family had it. Everyone's coming out now and saying that they've caught it.
Don't forget, Aor is also got COVID as well.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So he's on a 14-day ban at the moment because he's got it. He should have been playing for France under 21s, but he's not.
I tell you who was playing, Bertrand. Ozil played in that friendly last night. What's your thoughts? I mean, okay, let's go around the panel. And guys in the chat, I'm gonna bury you right now. Guys in the chat, Ozil plays this season with Arteta, deal or no deal? Bertram.
I think it's a very interesting one because, look, I think Arteta can't be a hypocrite like the England coach by saying one thing and do something else. He says every player starts with a clean slate, and therefore every player, regardless of their situation previously, should have an opportunity to play in the squad or play in the team. So he's given an opportunity to play. Now, I don't think his style of play suits Ozil. That's very obvious. He wants a pressing team, a lot of energy, no matter how technical you are. That's why you see when Pep first came in, Aguero was on the bench because he wasn't putting in that sort of effort.
Okay, hold on a second. When Arteta took over the team and he challenged Ozil in that style of play, he was doing just that. And 3 times Arteta had said, and Arteta's one guy who don't suffer fools. He's never stood in the camera and made stuff up. Even when Ozil weren't getting it right, he was just saying, at the moment, it's not working. Same thing like Guendouzi. We'll deal with it in-house. But before lockdown, Ozil was getting regular games and he was still the most, in terms of chances created, the most creative player in the team. He was man of the match in Newcastle. Yeah, when we won 4-0, he dominated that game. So he put in a shift. I was watching that game. I couldn't believe he had 4 tackles in that game. He was getting stuck, and I was like, "What's going on there? What have they done to this guy? Brainwashed him? Hypnotized him? What have they done to Ozil?" So Bertram, sorry, man, he was pulling his weight.
Look, the steroids the supply of steroids they were giving him went away. We don't have any more to supply with. I'm sorry. I know what steroids they give him, so we're back to normal. Look, if something's ingrained in you, it's very hard to change it. So 1 or 2 games, I may run my heart out, but it's not part of my DNA. I haven't done it for 30 years, I've done it a couple of times, and I go back to being me. And after the lockdown, I'm sure he had a kid also, so I'm sure he was not working out like a Martinez was doing continuously throughout the lockdown, and came back maybe not in the same position. At the end of the day, we need to move on, but we're still paying him $350 a week. So we have to entertain him, or indulge him, I should say, entertain until we get to the point where he moves on next year. Look, he's a very technical player. We understand that. But the Premier League is very unforgiving, even for technical players. David Silva puts in a shift. Even Aguero puts in a shift. You have to put in a shift every single game, or your team will pay. And frankly, why would I, as a player, if I'm, say, the great Xhaka, want to cover for you all the time when you're not running back? You have to put in a shift. And so Neil was like, the great Xhaka.
So again, let me get your ballpark figure. Deal or no deal? Do you play him this season, or do you sit him and watch 350 grand a week just dry up and shrivel up?
I think you have to play him. I think you have to play him, but play in parentheses or play in quotes, which is you're not getting a team of a William, but you may be a player we bring into play some of the easier games. When we don't go away, you don't come. When we go to the Stokes, we don't Stoke anymore, but when we go to Man U, you don't come. Liverpool, you don't come. You're at home, take care of your baby. You play at home against the Crystal Palace of the world.
Hey, let's use Brighton, because Brighton done the double over us last season. So let's use Brighton, please, guys.
Well, you don't go away to Brighton either. Guendouzi does that.
So guys, okay, so before I go to you, Neomis, let's see what our guys in the chat are saying. Vincey's saying deal. Whoa. 18 saying deal. Cool K saying deal. Stan is saying they got to start feeling, but come on, Stan, man. Where's Stan? I think Stan over as well. Here we go. Found him. Ozil's a spent force, no longer interested in playing football. No intention of going anywhere and playing. But that's totally, what's that? Worst player for Arsenal for, wow, okay. That's heavy, Stan. That's heavy, bro. Where are we going? Osman is saying, absolutely no deal. Joseph saying, Ozil out, Xhaka out, and then, oh, wow, no deal. Okay, so that's a big no all the way. Curved is saying Ozil has no natural stamina. I think he has. It's been proven numerically and statistically that he's run more kilometers than most of the players in the team. And over the last, I believe, 50 games started for each player, he's actually number one. So he's a really hard worker. But then you have to be, because remember, he runs into space to pick up the ball. When you see us playing games and you're like, the movement's really poor, the movement's shit. It's shit because players are not moving into space. You can't receive the ball if you're not free, if you don't have the movement to create it, and that's what Ozil's good at. And we saw when Pepe was struggling on the right, when he was getting no support from Bellerin, who was the person that went over there to support him? It was Ozil. And Ozil and Ceballos had this kind of combination that started to really click and work for Arteta before lockdown. Remember, before lockdown, Arteta was 8 games unbeaten. I'm just trying to keep you guys into the mix so we don't forget the progress that Ozil was making when he was playing under Arteta.
Apollo, I'd love to see you do the same about the positive attributes for Xhaka.
No.
So all we hear about the positive attributes for Ozil, he runs into space, he's technical. We don't hear about him running 10 kilometers more than everyone else, but never putting a foot in.
No, because Xhaka has not led the team in kilometers run. He has not led the team in chances created. He has not. Look, he didn't. When has he ever got last man of the match? I just mentioned that Ozil got man of the match.
For every game.
When was the last time that Xhaka got man of the match? So no, I'm not doing that with Xhaka. Xhaka, no. That's a flat no. Yeah, Ozil deserves it because he's put in the performances to adhere to that kind of respect in that way. Xhaka, nah, not even going there. Xhaka, when I looked at Xhaka statistically, he was near the bottom of holding midfielders, near the bottom. We're carrying this guy, and the only reason why we're all happy is because he's cut down his mistakes.
Ozil makes $350K per week.
And they better do something about it, because
I don't think anybody on this panel probably make 250K per year, for Christ's sake. And the man is at home. And the man is at home, sitting, sleeping, taking care of his baby, loves London to death, not going anywhere, getting paid. No one to leave Arsenal. Because you know what? I'm getting paid for sitting on my bum, not doing anything. And we're here trying to make justification for him playing? Really?
I'm going to get the calculator out. I'm getting the calculator.
£350 a week. That's $47,000 a year, for Christ, a week.
So, guys, 350 divided by, there's 5 of us in the panel. Yeah, there's 5 of us. You all know where I'm going with this. There's 5 of us in the panel. Is Ozil making more money than every single one of us combined in the panel? Now, that would mean that we would all have to be on 70 grand a year.
I'm not commenting, but anyway, I'm saying
not commenting either.
I'm saying it. He makes too much money.
Oh, right. Let's go.
He makes too much money.
Let's go back to our guys in the chat room. Nay said we have to play Ozil. We cannot afford to pay him. Agreed. And remember, the reason why he's not playing is not because of Ozil. It's because of the front office freezing him out because of the pay cut. Yeah, that's the long and short of it. Victor saying, play Ozil in the last 80th minute with a win to boost his confidence. Oh man, that's bro. D is saying Ozil can't get his motor out of his first gear. We want fighters on both ends of the pitch. Remember when Ramsey said he used to ask Wenger for time off? Yeah, that's fair enough. Curtis, take that number 10 and give it to Aura. And give Ozil the number 88. He'd only worry about his M10 brand and not the team. Oh man, Ozil loves this club, guys. Remember, Stan is saying when Ozil plays, we're basically playing with 10 men. Bro, we're playing with 10 men now because of Xhaka. So if Ozil plays, we'd be playing with 9 men.
I'm gonna love any club. I'm going to worship the club. I'm going to kiss the owner for £350,000 a week. I love you to death. You're the best club ever. I want to be here. I love you to death.
One of the clubs in Qatar, man. Qatar, Abu Dhabi. He's got enough friends there that'll just pay him 450 grand a week just for being their mates. All that oil money. Neomis,
it's not
deal or no deal?
All right. I first of all want to say I am not an Ozil fan, and it has to be a deal on certain caveats that he does not start. But I'm more than happy for him to come up off the bench. I do agree with some of the comments in that. For me, on a work rate side, like yes, he does. I feel like he puts in the effort and tries hard, but physically, I don't think he is capable of playing the way how Arteta wants. And I think he would probably be far more effective in probably the later stages in games. Plus, with the fact that Bertrand has just said he's on 350 grand a week, we cannot just allow this guy to sit at home or on the bench or in the stands and just milk this without us actually getting anything from him. So he played recently in the preseason. Let's see if we can get some type of use out of him. Hopefully he'll listen to Arteta, but begrudgingly it has to be a deal.
You know, the funny thing is, I've got that. Where is it? I've got the thing up on the screen, and it's. I shot a video in the midweek, and when I found that he had 12 goals for Switzerland and 12 goals, actually, I think it was less goals for Arsenal. I was like, how can this guy score more goals internationally than he can for his club? That's mad. And you're not even playing as much games internationally. And Neomis, Victor saying that you broke his heart, man.
Why? What did I do?
I don't know. Sad face.
Oh, is it because of Ozil?
I think so.
Is that what it is? I'm sorry.
Listen to Stan. Stan is just like I stubbed my toe on the coffee table and I blamed it on Ozil. Hey, remember that's what the Republicans used to say about Obama, isn't it? They used to say a cat went in my dustbin and threw out all the rubbish. I blame Obama. That's some joke right there, man.
Oh,
Tony's hard at doing research, man. Tony, deal or no?
Yeah, man. Listen. Some of you, man, want Hosam Aouar. Guy scored 3 goals last season
and 4 assists.
and 4 assists.
Yeah, which is the combined total of Xhaka and Ceballos together, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The season, obviously we all know Ozil had a woeful season last season. Woeful. Worst season of his entire life, probably.
Yeah.
One goal. He did actually score a goal against Newcastle, believe it or not.
Yeah, he didn't need to. He was already the best player on the pitch before he scored that goal,
Right.
which I've talked about a lot of times.
The season before was also pretty shoddy, but he managed to score 5 league goals. Yeah? And score 4 assists. So I kind of look at that and go, he needs to be given a chance. And you know, when you go to them places in Poland and Serbia and Kosovo and all them places out of the realms that you think, well, boy, who's going to go on that trip? Should we take Mesut Ozil and give him a little run out and see what he can do? I know you want to play Emil Smith Rowe. That makes perfect sense. But maybe you go, you know what? Take Mesut Ozil in tandem with Emil Smith Rowe, Joe Willock sitting behind him with Xhaka to give some security. And you go, let's do a thing.
Yeah.
There's just going to be certain places you're going to end up and you're going to go, this game here, we could give Mesut Ozil 60 minutes.
Yeah, League Cup, FA Cup, Europa Cup. There's a lot of games to play.
You know, I noticed we've been drawn, if anybody doesn't know, we've been drawn against Leicester in the Carabao Cup. But, you know, listen, it's a deal for me. He gets a run out somehow because there's no way you can't find a game for him. There's too many games.
Yeah, there is.
You can't find him a game. Yeah? And ultimately, we're going to see this guy's effort when he gets a chance. If he doesn't put the effort in, Arteta's just going to drop him like a sack of potatoes.
Exactly.
You know, look at Guendouzi.
Exactly. I just want to say here, Cool K, while he says deal, he's saying a realization of the reality of Arsenal's position. So that's basically Arsenal messing up. Arsenal have not dealt with this Ozil situation very well. And we're not talking about Arteta because Arteta was actually playing him and he was playing well for Arteta. We're talking about the front office. This has to lie on the shoulders of Edu, I'm afraid. Look, if I gave Emery any stick, it was because of his treatment of Ozil. He didn't get it right. As soon as he benched him, we went from our lowest total of creating chances than we ever had in over 30 years, just because he wanted to cut his nose off to spite his face. You don't do that. As soon as Emery brought Ozil back in the team, we started getting more creative and started scoring goals. And right now, what I've seen Edu do over the last 6 months is exactly the same thing. Cut your nose off to spite your face just because of a little issue that had nothing to do with playing football on the pitch and more to do with the congregation of everyone taking a pay cut. So I just think it's been mismanaged. It's terrible. And yes, I think Cool K, you're right. It's a realization from Arsenal that they've messed up. And that's the reason why we saw, Ozil would be a free agent as of July the 1st next year, but he'll be able to talk to teams as soon as January the 1st. Yeah, January the 1st, he can sign a pre-contract.
This free thing, this free deal, is not a free deal. Yeah? Remember this. Mesut Ozil going away on a free represents a £20 million investment in the club. Because that's his salary.
Yeah, 18 million.
The same way we just wrote off Mkhitaryan for a season and gained ourselves 10 million for the year to play with. It's the same thing with Mesut Ozil. He walks out the door, we have 20 million in our pocket to play with.
So Tony, deal or no deal?
It's a deal. We find a way. We find a way.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm agreeing with you a lot today, bro.
Another thing in Mesut Ozil's locker, right? Go on YouTube and look up Mesut Ozil's highlights 2019, 2020. There's somebody's out there who's made a video. He looks like Ronaldinho. There's points in the game where he's doing stuff with the ball. You go, is that Mesut Ozil? In that season that everyone deludedly went, he's shit, he's rubbish.
If you take all Apollo's highlights, even today, Apollo's highlights, and put them in a video, just where he did really well, I'm sure we'd say Apollo should be playing for Arsenal today.
No, but we don't need those highlights, Bertrand. Bertrand, we already know that. We already know three things. Arteta said he had worked hard enough to play in the team. That should be the golden stamp right there. Then he still creates the most chances when he's in the team. And the man of the match against Newcastle really topped off what I think was he got a standing ovation when he came off that pitch at the Emirates. It was a really, really good game to go to because it was just, look, if you give this guy a chance and you put some trust and some faith in him, he'll deliver. Now, I agree he doesn't deliver in the big great games. I totally agree with you. That's one of the knocks on him. And this season, what seems to have evaporated from his locker was the fact that he didn't shoot. It was like, bro, you've scored 12 goals in a season for this club. Why aren't you shooting? I don't understand that.
So here's the thing, guys. We're missing something here. The player has been here for 8 years. Let me repeat, 8 years, and we're still debating the player. 8 years. Most players' life.
Are you mad?
After 36 goals and 56 assists, we're still
in 8 years. In 8 years.
Yeah,
8 years.
In his first 3 years, Bertram, he was like the coming of Christ in the
let's call it out. 36 goals and 59 assists in 7 seasons.
Tony, the debate on Ozil with all those stats was he doesn't show up in the big games. Go back and check the stats. He's played about 70. Wait. He's played about 70.
Did he win the FA Cup with us for 2
Wait. We said big games, Tony. We didn't say FA Cup. We said big games. So in 70 games, I've checked this over time because that's why I judge players. He's shown up in less than half those 70-plus big games. Bayern Munich Champions League, Barcelona Champions League, Ozil disappears. Bayern game where he missed a penalty, he disappears totally. A technical player playing number 10 position, disappearing in big games is unforgivable when he disappeared in more than half the big games, making $350 a week. This concept, this idea about him being this great quality player who's always calling consternation, controversy, different perspective, is not, as you would quote unquote, a great consistent player.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Wait.
I agree with Bertram.
I don't agree with that at all.
I believe
sorry, go on.
That inconsistency has not been the full 8 years. I believe that inconsistency is the last 4 years. That even you might even
totally
agree. The last 5 years, but the first 3 years he came to Arsenal, he was ridiculously good.
Yeah, I totally agree. And
I mean, the goal where he's wearing the green kit, the green and black kit, and he chips it over 3 players and scores. That season alone, that goal for me was goal of the year.
Yeah.
So Tony, here's what happened, Tony. He and Sanchez were allowed to do anything they want to do, play any way they wanted to play. I'm not saying they're not great players. Sanchez was brilliant for us, right? But they had no structure to play in. They did what they want to do, and when they go play for other coaches who don't tolerate that nonsense, they struggle.
Yeah, that's right. You're right. But Bertram, the reason why I said I don't agree is because, and you're right to call him out against the top teams. And I'm not saying you're wrong, but I just disagree with the statement as a whole, because what you failed to mention was it wasn't Ozil that was stinking in those games. It was everybody.
Yeah.
In the last four or so years, you name, we can literally on one hand string off the amount of big top teams that we beat.
So in that same period, Sanchez showed up.
Yeah,
Sanchez showed up.
But he was the only person who showed up. He was the only person who showed up.
Baku last year, yeah. Who didn't show up? The whole goddamn team.
Yeah.
Tony, the point of Tony is that if you're the best player on the team, right, you gotta lift your team.
Who says that? Who said that? Nobody's saying he's the best.
You get 350 because you're the best.
You're the only
we weren't giving him 350 then, Bertrand.
Wait, guys, wait, hold up. Ozil we paid 40-something million for Ozil.
43,
right? 43 million, more than 25% more than Sanchez, for a reason. He was deemed to be a great player at Real Madrid, giving tons of assists to Ronaldo and all those teams. Brilliant player, supposedly.
Yeah. And he was fantastic.
Wasn't it the highest transfer fee we've ever played at the time? We paid 40-something million for him. There was a reason for that. He was deemed to be an exceptional player. Over 8 years, he's been a very good player.
Look, Bertram, I think that this is a subjective discussion, and we've all got different views. But I'm only going to say my last piece on it, which I've said to you before. He is the cherry on the top of a team like PSG or Juventus or one of the, when you get a team like Arsenal who are falling out of the top four, you can't afford to have a luxury player. You know that, and I know that. What would Kevin De Bruyne look like if he's playing for Brighton?
Yeah, it's a bit like saying.
Guys, here's a damning thing. Here's a damning thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me just talk about the Bayern Munich Barcelona debacle, the 8-2. Messi, is he now lazy? Has he now taken on the lazy?
He was lazy in that game. He was lazy. He was.
Absolutely.
He was.
So is he now lazy?
That's one game. That's one game. We have a man doing it for seasons after seasons.
Hey,
He was lazy.
Fails, one player gets
the man has 4 Champions League, 10 La Liga titles. Come on.
Tony Bertram, got to pull the plug on this because Ebony and Neomis have been waiting kindly to get their 2 cents in. First, let's go with let's go with Neomis, who Stan Hussein looks uncannily like Ludacris. What's your thoughts on
his money? I don't have his money.
Neomis.
Ludicrous.
Yeah. No. I already gave my point on regards to Özil. Yep, deal. You play him. Maybe more as a bench player, but you have to, like, the money that he's on, and I still think that there's quality there. And yeah, I'm not a fan of his, but he must be able to provide something to this side. Like, I refuse to believe it's nothing. Like, I no longer expect him to get 20 assists a season and 10 goals. Like, I don't. But there is no reason why he can't. For instance, we got Fulham coming up. There's no reason why Özil can't come and create a lot of chances for an Eddie Nketiah to score goals, or any other one of our forward players. Like, I expect something, So yeah, it's a deal.
Excellent. Ebony, anything to add on this before we give our predictions for the Fulham game?
Okay, look, I know what everyone says about Özil. He does divide opinion at the end of the day. I still think that there is a player in there, despite the fact that he supposedly sits on his backside at home, or he's always got some back problem or some injury, or he's got a problem with his baby toe. He's still got that, but what we need from him is you see, Özil is one of these players whereby you have to play around. He's not the best at being off the ball. He's not the best at running, but he will get into those spaces where the ball will be provided to him, or he will provide that killer pass. I say deal, play him, but if you're gonna play him, bring him on as a sub. I don't think he should start. As simple as that. But I still think he's got something to give. I really do. Yeah.
Someone in the chat says we shouldn't talk about Ozil anymore, and I agree.
But we're trying to move on. Yeah, we're trying to move on now.
No, I'm talking about period going forward. We're wasting time with someone who's not worth it.
We can't. We played in a friendly last night, and he might be in the squad against Fulham, so he's still an Arsenal player. Even as bad as Xhaka is, we still have to talk about Xhaka. Right, so guys, let's get predictions from everybody for the first game against Fulham next week. We know roughly what the team is going to be since we've gone through that. Guys in the chat, can you give me your predictions? Arsenal away to Fulham on the first week. What do you think the score is going to be? Bertram, let's go through what your prediction is going to be.
So since we gave up 3 against Villa, 3 against QPR, I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna say 3-1 actually, because we'll get Tierney back, and we'll have a more settled Bellerin or AMN, whoever's playing right back. Maybe Bellerin won't be sold by then, and hopefully David Luiz come with his head straight on and leave the errors at home. So I say 3-1 to Arsenal.
Yeah, and a lot of these things, guys, remember that it's not the first team that's going out and playing these friendlies. It's just a mixture between reserved players and all that stuff. So realistically, the team's going to be a strong team going out there, playing for 90 minutes and trying to get off to a good start. Arsenal have notoriously been suffering from bad starts, man. And I'm not sure. Well, I wonder whether we should go through that actually and see where we're going to go. No, I'm going to leave that till Wednesday. I'm going to leave that to Wednesday because we're getting up to the 2-hour point. Neomis, before I let you go, let's have a look at and see what our chat room is saying. Vincey is saying it's going to be 3-1. I hope that's to Arsenal. 3-1 to Arsenal. Let's see. Stephen is going 2-1 to Arsenal. Yep. Excellent. 18 is saying 3-0 to Arsenal. Nay is saying 3-1. We got this. Fulham. Look, Fulham's going to be way up for it. But I think we don't want a situation what happened to us with Brighton, where we have a team that's kind of full of fight in them, and then we don't get anywhere. And I hope that Callum Chambers doesn't decide to go to Fulham either. So, I think they're going to be up for it. Cricketball's gone 2-1 to Arsenal. Styler's gone 3-0 to Arsenal. That's my score. I've gone with 3-0 to Arsenal as well. I think that we're going to be right out there like a bat out of hell. And I think Willian, all them guys, I think Willian's going to have a brilliant game. I'm hoping Willian gets man of the match. I really do. We've got D, Teta Stars, Ozil. Rico. We've got Rico. Rico's going for Arsenal 2-1. Style has gone Arsenal 3-0. Fulham won't be easy. We'll have too many players who don't seem to take smaller teams seriously. I think that, again, we can't judge by the Villa game when we lost 1-0 because, look, we weren't even playing in that game. If me and Bertrand was talking about the game when we reviewed it, and while we were talking about the game, we were both saying, notice one thing in that game when Arsenal played Villa before the FA Cup final. What was the one thing that you could take from that game which Arteta did not do? He didn't press, not even once. We weren't even working hard. It was almost as if we were just going through the motions. We never went. Normally, you see the players shattered because of the amount of times they've been pressing. Yeah. In the Villa game, we weren't even working hard. We weren't even working at all. So Victor's gone for a 2-2 draw, late equaliser from Fulham. The same old defense and Fulham being pumped up. Wow. Neomis.
I gotta go with a 4-1. I think that Arsenal are going to be up for it. First game of the season. I think that I had a bit of a look to see what Fulham have actually done in the transfer window, and I just think that the Premier League quality is just going to come out and show, that especially the more as the game go on. So I'm expecting at least a 3-goal difference. I think Fulham will put up a good fight, especially earlier on. But as the game goes on, Arsenal will break them down. Aubameyang will probably score a goal that we're going to be like, wow. I see it's going to look like an Arsenal comfortable win, but I think Fulham will put a lot of good effort into it. And I do see Pepe maybe scoring a goal as well. So, yeah.
CJ, yo, what's going on? CJ, what time you call this, bro? We're ready to shut up shop in the next 4 minutes. Good to see you, CJ. Good to see you in the chat, man. Tony, what's your prediction for Arsenal versus Fulham?
Okay, so I'm gonna go with 3-0.
Yeah, same as me. Yep.
I think we starters with me to continue. I think, defensively, we want to shut out. I think Arteta has got these guys thinking shut out. We're not giving up silly goals like we used to. So I'm hoping that we don't do the same, come out this season and start giving up silly goals. Although it wouldn't surprise me. However, at the other end, we have literally the last 6 games that Aubameyang has played. He scored about 10 goals.
Oh, he's gone mad. He had 2 against Villa.
Again, yesterday.
He's just gone mad.
Now, he's just
mad.
You just look at the last set of games and you're like, boy, man's on fire.
Well, he had 5 goals in the last 3 games against the Cup final and Charity Shield and all that.
He come off that little break that he had between the FA Cup and the Community Shield, and he just picked it up like it was no change.
Yeah.
So man's on fire.
Tony, you want to get that one, Tony?
I already alluded to that. I think he does play free at the back, but you know, just because it's a system that they're going to be familiar with. And in that system, you've got the dynamics of playing, you know, Saka or Ainsley Maitland-Niles at your wing backs. You know, I do think it would be 3 at the back. So yeah, I go.
But they need to drop
3-0.
some in the front, don't you?
Alba, I think Pepe is going to be pushing to try and show that, you know what, there's more to the end product than you've previously seen. I think this is a great opportunity for him to come out and do something big, you know, maybe a free kick goal or something. And it's just going to be interesting to see how the creativity part of this is going to work, because now that Arteta's had a semi-pre-season of working with some of the new players, you know, we might see how Willian integrates with Alba, Laka, or Nketiah and Pepe. So that, I think, is going to be something new that we've not seen before. I think Willian will make the difference this game.
Excellent. And again, I do agree with that. I think the Fulham game will tell us a lot. It will tell us whether Ozil is actually going to be a part of the setup. It will tell us whether he's going to go back to his more preferred 4 at the back role. And it will also tell us whether Willian is going to be the pivot man in the middle. So look, the Fulham game is really exciting for us as fans, because it's going to answer a lot of questions that we're going to be talking about. Do they go 3 at the back, 4 at the back? Ozil going to be in the team? Willian, what's his position? How is he going to use Maitland-Niles in this setup? Ebony, what's your prediction? Oh, by the way, also CJ has gone for a 1-1 draw against Fulham, bro. Come on, CJ. CJ beating me up today, you know.
No. I reckon we're gonna win, and I think 3-1. I think what we need to remember is that yes, Fulham have been in the Championship for a couple of years, but we must not underestimate any team. I don't care how long they've been in the low division, and this is the problem that Arsenal have. You know, we played the so-called lesser teams and become complacent. So we can't get too complacent with this lot. So I'm going to go for a win. And I think the fact that we'll have the whole team back virtually is going to make that bit of a difference. The fact that we've got Martinez in goal makes a bit of a difference as well. So I think 3-1. I don't think we'll get a clean sheet, because for some reason, you know, our defense does go to sleep at some point. So, yeah.
But remember, Ebony, so part of the reason for Arteta's success is twofold. The first one is, which Emery and Wenger didn't do, they didn't fix the away record, the away form, and then they didn't fix the defense. And Arteta's been able to do that. Arteta actually has a history now where he's had the 26 games. And remember, guys, in the 26 games he's played, he's got the 3rd best record in that time. So by all accounts, if we played our first 26 games, I know it's different and there's intangibles, but Arteta has got the 3rd best record in the last 26 games. Well, the only 26 games that he's played as manager. And that should tell you in terms of how much he's transformed the team. The away form has been way improved. The goals, the defense, we went from letting in 2.12 goals per game to 0.93. So we're letting in more than, I believe it's 1.2 goals less per game. That is huge. That's what you want a manager to come in and do when he takes over in a team. Yeah, remember we all talked about. Remember we all talked about even Sam Allardyce can lock up a defense in a team. Remember when we were talking about Unai Emery and saying, how can he not do that? How can he not have improved the defense? Sam Allardyce can do that. How can this man come in here from PSG and not even improve the defense and just make our attack worse? So I think that's what it comes down to. So yes, there's a few people going into this Fulham game thinking, it's Arsenal. Actually, it's not. This Arteta team is very unconventional in regards to how Arsenal, wink, wink, have normally performed in the past. His expectations are high. Look, I said it plenty of times. Arteta doesn't suffer fools. He doesn't like losing, and he hates people who are not putting in an effort, even worse. be known that if you're that player who ain't pulled your weight, you ain't gonna play again. You know, you ain't gonna play again. That's just how it is here now.
That's bias. That's what happens to the bias.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you don't play, and that's the kind of manager you want. You know, you want a manager to make the players work hard, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
Finally, we've got a manager that doesn't take any BS.
Agreed. So, guys, that's it for the show for today. I want to thank everybody for making the show absolutely amazing. There's going to be so much going on, guys. I can't wait to get started. And on Wednesday now, I think we're gonna have to come up on Wednesday with a nice subject to go through. I think we'll do the first few games preview and try and predict them on a Wednesday as well, and then just bring everybody up to speed because the season is getting closer now. 6 days to go. And we're going to see a flurry of movement now because those teams that have been after our fringe players, you know, Socrates going, Torreira. I just heard Torreira. We were supposed to talk about Torreira today, but I left that out. There's been a bid that's gone through today for Torreira for 21 million, Torino. And the difference with that bid is the original bid with Fiorentina was a 8 million down payment and then an 18 million, no, it wasn't 18 million, 16 million paid at the end of the loan in another 12 months. Torino's come back and said, we'll give you the 22 million right now. So then that come from through today. So we could be in a situation where in the next 48 hours, Torreira could be gone. So we just don't know. Yeah. Guys, any closing arguments from any of you guys?
If anybody runs a business how we run our business, they go bankrupt. Every player we bought, we can't sell them for a fee, even close to what we bought them for. Gabriel, Torreira, Xhaka, Lazy, all those players, Mustafi. It's amazing that every player we have bought, not every, but even Aubameyang, we can't get 58 for Aubameyang, even with him doing great for us. It's really sad, actually, that we can't have sell-on appreciation for players that we buy. You can't run a business that way.
Do we want to be that club, Bertram? Do we want to? I mean, ask yourself this question: what player have Bayern Munich sold for mega profit?
So let's change that. Let's start the Premier League. Liverpool.
No, answer the question.
So Alphonso Davies, Thiago, all those players, even Thiago at 29 is probably similar to the price they paid for him 6 years ago. Alphonso Davies, they paid less than 20 mil. We can get 70 for Alphonso Davies. Lewandowski, no, but I'm just saying Lewandowski was free. But you said Bayern. I'm giving you the numbers.
We could say the same about a lot of our players, but we don't because we don't sell them at the right time.
Bertrand.
No. But you asked me for a point in time question, Tony. I'm answering the point in time question. Liverpool, right, so Salah, Firmino, Mane, Fabinho, every single Liverpool player would be selling for more than what they bought him for.
Bertram, the reality is, Bertram, is that this team dropped out of the top 4 years ago and they finished 8th last season. Now, how much you think the players are going to be worth on a team that has had that kind of degradation in terms of their performances? Not much. I mean, we're giving away players for free now. We're cancelling contracts.
So the position of the team doesn't always equate to the cost of the player. We have Declan Rice has been quoted for 80 million. West Ham are in the bottom 4 of the league, or bottom 5, right? You have players who are valued much more, probably something even similar to their team is valued. Zaha is probably still about a 40 million player. They paid 20 for Man U for him. We don't have those players.
Eddie Nketiah scores 20 goals this season. Guess how much he'll be worth at the end of the season?
Big time. Yeah.
Any Nketiah scoring 20 goals. Okay, we can put a fiver on that.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Boy. Hello.
Let me carry on, Bertram. How much
go on.
Guendouzi for?
Guendouzi is probably one of the players, yes. We bought him on the cheap.
How much did
when we had business time.
Okay, how much did we buy Torreira for?
I think about 26, 27 million, somewhere in there.
And we're going to get that back, right?
No, we're going to get a loss. 4 million, 20% loss or 15% loss.
We got 40 million for Iwobi last year. We got 40 million for Iwobi.
Academy player.
We got 40 million for Oxlade-Chamberlain as well.
No. Guys. We're saying who we bought. We're saying who we bought on the recurrent squad. We're not talking about who we did before. On the current squad, who we bought.
Yeah. Okay. So the point is, I understand your logic. It makes sense. But the thing is, Arsenal don't want to be a selling club. We're not in the business of buying players to make profit. We're in the business of buying players to win trophies. Yeah.
But here's the thing,
Bayern
Tony. If you bought a player,
Bayern
but this is the
Munich,
point.
for all intents and purposes, Bayern Munich are the perfect business model, because what they don't do is buy a player for 150 million. They don't compete.
They're about the only
Barcelona.
one. Juventus to a point, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But we can't compare the guy. We can't compare the Bayern. You can't compare the Bayern because Bayern has a monopoly. Wait, no. But there's a difference, Tony. Bayern is a monopoly on the players in Germany. Every player in Germany want to play for Bayern, so therefore they get them at a more discounted price. In the Premier League, it's different. The Premier League has money. Everybody overinflate their players. So Hang
on a second.
They're overinflated.
Under Wenger, didn't we have a monopoly on French players?
Yes, basically, yes.
We were buying everybody who was decent out of France came to Arsenal.
Yes, 4 years ago.
Yeah.
5 years. Longer than that before he
we're
left.
not that far removed.
Yeah, I think this is the same as Juventus. I think every player in Italy wants to play for Juventus, but to a point, a lot of their players are bought from Europe. I mean,
but the point I'm making, Apollo, is that we're in a position to be buying players at a loss. We came buy Torreira 2 years ago and he's going to sell for a loss.
But that's what happens when you make mistakes, Bertrand.
Yes.
That's we are where we are.
We're mistake laden.
We've got a new technical director. We've got a new general manager. We've got a new manager. All within the last 12 months.
12 months.
Yeah. Look, you know, as bad as Ivan Gazidis was, he said if we don't make the top four, there'll be wholesale changes, and there was wholesale changes, and that's all we could ask for, because you know why? We were carrying Dega performance and players like Bentner, and we were carrying so much dross for years and years. Wenger was well gone past his sell-by date. Should have gone after the whole FA Cup. Should have even gone even more after the Villa FA Cup. But we just held on to rot and just kept degrading.
There's a reason why Liverpool were to buy Alisson and buy Van Dijk, because they sold Suarez, they sold Coutinho. Chelsea sold what's his name to Real Madrid. Hazard. So we're saying we're the only top four team who has no potential set-on player to sell for 60, 70, 80 million pounds. None.
But that's not true.
At the
Man, you just buy Fernandes, they can sell him for 80 million pounds. We have none.
But that's not true.
I don't agree with that, because I don't agree with that, because how much would Saka be worth if a team? He just signed a new contract. He's got a 5-year
25 million pounds. 25 million pounds.
Rubbish.
Right.
Saka's not worth 20. So hold on. How much is Greenwood in Man United worth? Greenwood. How much is he worth?
Kids in this market. Greenwood's 35 million pounds.
The kids are the most expensive things. Look at Mbappe.
35 million pounds in this market for Greenwood.
No. Mbappe went for no.
You don't want to pay 45 million for Partey? What are you talking about?
No, Partey's not a kid, man. We're talking about the kids.
Exactly, proven talent.
We're talking
talent. And you don't pay 45. You want to pay 45 for Greenwood? Really?
Was Mbappe proven before he went to PSG?
Everybody wanted Mbappe, including us, by the way.
Everybody wants Saka.
Not everybody. No, not the price. Mbappe was a better talent than Saka from day one.
I think he was. Yeah, I think he was. But at the same time, I'm saying, you know, Greenwood. There's a bunch of players. Martinelli, Hadlang, Borussia Dortmund. There's a bunch of players.
Apollo, we're confusing the issue.
They're
talking about
not
players
worth
who you
25
bought.
million.
No, I'm talking about seasoned players who we bought. Torreira was seasoned. Lacazette is seasoned. These are seasoned players we bought who we should have any perception of their talent, their capabilities, their contribution to us, and we're selling them at a loss, which makes no sense.
Well, you know,
let me give you another one. So, Aubameyang has scored 20 goals in 2 seasons in the Premier League alone. What other Arsenal striker has played as fewer games as him and scored 20 goals in his first 2 seasons? Which player?
Tony, I'm not debating the Aubameyang bought.
So,
I'm saying we can't get. No, but Tony, you're missing the point.
Let me give you the rundown.
Go ahead.
If Aubameyang scores another 20 goals this season, guess what his sell-on value is?
He's 31 years old. He ain't getting more than 50 million for him. Not happening. He's 31 years old. He's 32 next year. He's 32 next year.
In 3 seasons.
You're going to pay 60 million for a 32-year-old. You're not in business, Frank. You should not be in business.
Yeah,
32.
At the end of the day, Bertrand is coming from a point where we are all feeling the way Bertrand feels in terms of being in this position. We finished 8th. We haven't been a good club. The deadwood we're trying to get rid of, then I weren't nothing. If we get look, we paid 22 million for Torreira. 2 years later, we're selling him for 22 million, and that's success. We're happy about that.
No, we paid 26 for Torreira. 26, 27. We're selling at a loss.
Euros. Yeah, euros. So, and we're happy. We're happy to be getting back the money that we paid for him. But we're living in different times, guys. This is COVID, man. I mean, we're living in different times. I mean, yes, it will probably be different, but the point that Bertrand's making still exists. That the players are not worth nothing. We're losing so much money because we've made bad decisions. Give the guys a chance, though. Give Edu a chance. Give Arteta a chance. Let's see, and if they don't work out, then I'm sure things will be moving on. But I think we got the right mix at the moment as far as the front office goes. And I think that we get behind them and see what they can do. I said it before, this team's going to finish in the top 4 this season. I'm gonna stay with. A lot of people are saying they're gonna finish 6th or 5th. I think they're gonna crack the top 4. I think they got one of the best managers in the league.
Well, we all hope so.
Excellent. So that's it, guy. Bertrand, where can we find you, bro?
Arsenal 101.
Arsenal 101 forums. And guys, in the chat, if you're not on 101 forums yet, the description is in this video below. Check it out. It's got the link for the Facebook page. There's 4,000 of us on there. I can't believe the YouTube channel is actually going to get to a point where it's going to surpass our main forum. That is mad. That is insane. Neomis, where can we find you, bro? Shout out your YouTube channel.
Find me on my YouTube channel, AFC Neomis. Please come in and check out my Arsenal content, as well as on my Twitter page, AFC Neomis.
Yeah, and he's got a whole heap of people. I'm late to Twitter, so I've got like 150 people on Twitter. When I see how much this man has got on his Twitter, I said, Lord, God, Lord.
It's taken a while. It's taken a while to get there.
I'm bad on Twitter. I'm so late. I'm so late to Twitter. Tony, where can we find you, bro?
It's at Pugilist Boy on all of the formats: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Same thing at Pugilist Boy.
Excellent. And Ebony, where can we find you?
101 Facebook, Twitter, Insta. And a couple of my radio shows as well. Gift for Ferrity Radio, Shout, and Galaxy Radio as well.
Excellent. So, guys, thank you very much for your entertainment and your company again on a Sunday evening. Again, I got to apologize for my coughing. I'm really sorry. I am working on it. But guys, listen. It's coming up now. It's 6 days to go, and I'm really excited. Football's coming back, guys. Football's coming back. Less than a week.
But we won't be there.
Yeah, we won't be there. But listen, I mean, we'll probably have to do the live streams. We'll probably be streaming games live, guys, and doing some watch-alongs. And I think that's probably the best thing that we can do at the moment. So yes, that will definitely be something that we'll be working on. And let's just enjoy it, man. How it is. So guys, that's it, man. Peace. Right back at you. Back your team, man. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye, guys.